Welcome to the Hutchinson Salthawks Football pregame show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salthawks Football pregame show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Salthawk football pregame show. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. We're in Andover. Hey, we're supposed to be in Derby, but we're in Andover tonight, and it's a good night for football.
It's a great night for football, and no, you didn't make a wrong turn on the way here, Glenn. Andover is the right place to be tonight.
Well, let's talk about how that happened as we were on the schedule to play Derby, but they last Friday, earlier in the week, last week, they actually had to cancel their Salina South game. Then they rescheduled it, they being Derby, and you turn around on Friday afternoon in the 11th hour, they canceled the South game, Salina South game, due to COVID-19, and also it carried over into our game with them this week. And luckily, Andover had an opening day because campus was dealing with COVID-19 outbreak. And so Coach Armstrong got together with the AD over at Andover and said, hey, it's going to work for us to come over to you if you want to host us. So that's why we're in Andover.
And lots of credit to Kevin Armstrong, the AD at Hutchinson High School, for making sure the Salthawks have an opponent to play tonight, because you definitely don't want to have an open week. You work too hard in practice all week, and when you get to play in games, that's kind of like the payoff for all that time you put in practice. So we certainly appreciate the work that Kevin Armstrong did to make this game happen. And it is an AVCTL opponent, except Andover is in Division 2. Hutchinson is in Division 1.
Should you be making your way over to Andover tonight for the nice game, kickoff at 7 o'clock? It's at the district stadium is what they call it. It's right off an Andover Road. You just go take K96, get off on East Wichita on 21st Street East, and head that direction east until you come to Andover Road. Turn right, and just a couple blocks down on the right side is where the stadium is located, directly across the street from Andover High School.
And in the COVID-19 era this season, when you're never quite sure what the seating restrictions will be, we're always glad to bring the action to you on radio and on live stream.
Yes, exactly. And you can pick that up on live stream. But just going to hutchpost.com, you'll get our audio with it. And right now, again, we're in the pregame show. And let's talk about a little bit about last week's win. It's a historical one because we haven't been 4-0 since 2009. That was a year that we won the state tournament in 5A. And one of the many state tournaments championships that we've won. But that's quite an accomplishment for Mike Vernon this year to get his team to 4-0 on a year after 2 down years, and things are started to click within this class of 2021, the class 2021, but the football season 2020.
Coach Mike Vernon has definitely put his signature on this Salthawk football program this year. You can, you can still tell that it's Hutchinson High School football. All the traditional things are still there, but Coach Vernon has switched up the way they do things in practice. He's gone to a little bit more balanced offensive attack. He simplified things, and it's definitely Mike Vernon's program. In addition to being the first time starting the season 4-0 since 2009, those 54 points against Newton last Friday night, that's the most points Hutchinson has put on the scoreboard since September 15, 2017.
In which they beat Salina team that night.
Salina Central. Mm-hmm. Hutchinson scored 55 points against Salina Central, but it's been more than 3 years since Hutchinson has put up more than 50 points in a game.
A little concern about giving up 42 points in the contest. Mike was a little bit on the post game, a little concerned about that. His defense, they broke down on a couple different situations to a very good Newton team that really passed the ball well.
Newton is averaging over 30 points a game. Their offense is tough. When you look at that receiving crew and also Ben Schmidt, Peyton Maxwell is a special receiver. Newton's defense hasn't been quite as good as their offense, but their offense is very impressive. And I don't think there's a lot of shame in giving up 42 points as long as your team scores 54. Yeah. It works out fine.
There were some defensive breakdowns. Now, they took the lead early, and then we came back and were able to tie it up, and they took the lead again. And then Hutchinson came and it trailed it by at that time, tied it at 14. And then you had this defensive, Jim, and we were talking about it earlier today. The ball just seemed to come out of Schmidt's hands, just kind of slipped out. And Coach thought that maybe he was getting ready to pass and saw one of our defenders kind of jumped around a little bit and decided not to throw it. But it just tumbled out of his hands into the end zone. Jack Harver came up with the fumble recovery. It sounded like this.
Claps the hands, back to pass, looks right. Ball flips out of his hands, and now he's going to be thrown for a safety. Loose football, could be a TD, and it is! Touchdown, Hutchinson!
So several Salthawks around the ball. Jack was the one that got on top of it. He's played really good defense this year, senior linebacker, and Hutchinson took the lead at that time, 21-14.
Ben Patterson was there in the end zone, and Jack Hover got on the ball, but absolutely, that linebacking core for Hutchinson, really the entire defensive unit, even though Newton was able to put up 42 points, it's been a defensive unit that comes up with big stops at key points of games, and that's a big reason Hutchinson is 4-0 right now.
Newton drove down, and with 13 seconds left, put it into the end zone to tie it at 21 at halftime, and there we were, 21-21 at halftime. Then you turn around, and Hutchinson's able to get touchdowns on the board, had the lead at 33-28. Newton had cut that gap to 5 and went with the onside kick. Hutchinson was able to recover it, ran a short yardage play, had the ball at the 50 when Mike Vernon dialed up this fantastic call on a key part of the game at the 50-yard line in the third quarter.
Brings up his 2nd down and 3 now from the 50 for Hutchinson. Clock moving along. It's 6:08 to go. Thompson back to pass. Looks left. Wants to throw it. Wants to go long. He's got a receiver out there. Touchdown, Hutchinson. 5:58 to go in the fourth quarter play. A 50-yard strike to Kokar.
And that's touchdown by Kokar was the Titan, HutchPost.com, Titan's home services play of the game for this year. Kokar twice, 2 weeks in a row has won that play of the game. This one was by way of the reception from a fine throw by Miles Thompson, who threw it easily about 50 yards in the air.
Exciting play and outstanding call by you, Glenn Grunwald. I get goosebumps when I listen to the replay.
Well, he had him open at about the 10-yard line. Kokar brought it in and then into the end zone again. Peterson was also open on that play. Coach thought that maybe he should have went to Peterson, but it ended up being 6. That was a big play in the game because Newton had just scored, had momentum going, and right back Hutchinson went back up again by 12.
You can certainly see Noah Kokar's speed on display because when Miles Thompson released that pass, the defensive player was pretty much stride for stride even with Noah Kokar. But we have a saying that we've used for years in Salthawk football. Even though we don't throw that many passes traditionally, we've always preached, if your receiver is even, he's leaving. And that was a case where Noah Kokar was even with the defensive back, so you knew he was going to outrun him to the football.
Outstanding analyzation with that one right there. So let's take a break. We'll come back with more on this week's game. We'll talk a little bit about Andover, what we know about the Trojans. It's a short week for Hutchinson by way of just finding out later on Monday that they were going to be playing Andover, had been preparing for Derby, and now we take on the Trojans tonight. We'll be right back.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student-athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back in the Salthawk football pregame show. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Sarah Peterson will be on the camera tonight up here in the booth, and also Joe Blake on the sidelines as well, as Joe will be coming up from Cali College. That's kind of iffy if he's going to be here or not. We hope he will be because he's done an excellent job. So I want to bring back that Titan Home Services Hutch Post play of the game. We have had over 1,900 views on that on Facebook, and that's just outstanding. And by the way, folks, you can go to the Facebook channel. You might be watching it right now on the Facebook. It's the Hutch Salthawks Sports Facebook page, and you can go to that, or you can go to HutchPost.com YouTube page. Just go to YouTube and then Hutch Post, and that's where you'll find the stream for tonight. And excited to be able to bring that to our watchers and our listeners out there. Also, you can get, how many different ways can you get the audio on just other than over the airways? You can also get it on the Alexa app and also on TuneIn Radio. There's various different ways, and I love the BW app. Matter of fact, the BW app is a new app that if you look at it, you can also get some of the sports stories as well, but you can go right there and get the audio.
Yeah, there are so many choices, and what I really appreciate about doing the video along with the audio is for those fans who actually attend the game, if they want to go back and look at it when they get home or sometime later in the week, it's out there for them. So you can experience it live at the same time it's happening, or you can go back and enjoy it later.
No doubt about that. Let's talk about Andover. 2-2 on the year coming in, and you've got a relative on this team.
I do. I'd like to just say nephew because, as we were talking about earlier today, you told me that makes me sound old when I say grandnephew, but he is, in fact, the son of my niece, Andrea Lenning. And the Lenning family, a lot of people will be familiar with them. They have Andrea, Matt, and Shaylee. Grew up in Sublette, Kansas, and all three of them outstanding athletes in high school. All three of them went on to be college athletes. Andrea, a track athlete at Emporia State. Matt, a Division I football player at Wyoming. He played free safety. And a lot of fans are familiar with Shaylee Lenning, outstanding point guard at Kansas State, and went on and played 3 years in the WNBA at Atlanta for the Dream. And Max Middleton is my grandnephew. He wears number 22. He's a running back and a defensive back for the Andover Trojans. So even though we would have liked to have seen the Salthawks match up against the Derby Panthers, for selfish reasons, I am delighted to be able to watch Max Middleton in action against the Salthawks tonight.
Well, it's funny you mentioned because Brett Marshall, our friend out in Garden City, that was a writer for the Garden City Telegraph for a long time, still does a lot of, has written a book, Friday Night Lights. He wrote a book on the Lanning girl when she was from Sublette that played for K-State.
She was pretty special. She's in the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame, and again, Max's mom, Andrea, her parents are Jane and Steve Lenning. And they still live in Sublette, but we get to see them occasionally, and we always enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about Andover. Offensively, they can play pretty good football.
Andover they go from the shotgun, but what's unusual about that is it's really more of a running offense, even though the quarterback takes the snap in the shotgun formation. I always call it a power shotgun. You could call it a single wing. You could call it a lot of different things, but they do like to establish the run, even though the quarterback is in the shotgun formation. And their quarterback this year is a sophomore, so anytime you have a sophomore at quarterback, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but he's coming along, and his name is Brady Strauss. He got injured in the game against Mays and didn't get to play very much. I don't think he played at all in week 2, but he was back again in week 3, and he's back there. But again, they like to establish the run more than anything else.
There are 2 losses to Mays is one, and also Goddard Eisenhower got the win over him just this last week. Again, they've had several canceled on them.
And they played both of those games tough. Mays is a very good team. They're undefeated, and Mays defeated Andover 20-6. Eisenhower has been a tough program for quite a number of years. And Eisenhower beat Andover 16-7 in a tough game last week.
My question to you would be, how are they going to handle this high-powered offense that Hutchinson's been able to put on the field this week, with specifically McEwen getting rushing for over 200 yards this last game. The game before was 292 yards. I think everybody in the stadium is going to know that he's going to get the ball a lot, but at the same time, Hutch can also throw the football. They're going to have to be ready for that.
Andover's defense has not faced the veer, flex bone, option, whatever you want to call it. They have not faced the Hutchinson Salthawks style of offense, and it's a type of offense that does take some time to prepare for. Everybody has to have an assignment, and they have to know exactly what to do. However, this Andover defense has been limiting opponents to just 10 points a game, so it's a pretty impressive defense that the Salthawk offense will be going up against tonight.
Well, we're going to talk about the keys to the game when we return, as we'll be back with more from Andover right after this.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball. Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, Coach, it's time to talk about the keys to the game, and I see you starting to dig those out of the pocket, although I know your vehicle is one of the push-button start ones, but still, you got to get into it too much. But defensively, for Hutchinson, how can they stop that, what we refer to, single-wing shotgun offense in the formation in the backfield?
They have to be assignment sound. So, again, anytime you face a team that wants to run the ball, you've got to plug all of the holes, and you've got to stay at home to make sure it's not a counter or a trap play or anything of that nature. So Hutchinson has a great tradition of being disciplined on defense, and I fully expect them to continue that tonight. They have to stop the run. Have to stop the run first, force Andover into passing situations.
So Waymeyer, we're calling his name a lot, and also Ken Hover as well will get some action at the middle linebacker spot.
I think the linebackers will come up big tonight. Martinez, Patterson, Hover. You'll see them in on a lot of stops.
Our safeties and defensive backs I've been impressed with this year. Maddox back, Mad Dog back. It's so good to have him back as well. Newquist has played well, and several other players have played very well this year.
Stephon Hunter has been good. Weathers has been outstanding. It's been a really impressive defensive group who has on occasion given up some first downs and given up some points, but they always seem to toughen up when the opponent gets down there in the red zone.
And that's usually where they do get tough, and you're exactly right. They're able to read pretty good, and none was bigger than against Shields a couple weeks ago on the big fourth down sack, if you wish to call it, by Hovers at the end of the game, and Hutchinson was able to get the win over South. Let's talk about offensively. Let's turn it around. What does Andover have to do to stop the Hutchinson offense, which Hutchinson has three potent running backs when you count Kokar out of that slot? What can they do to stop them?
Well, so far, none of the four opponents against Hutchinson have been able to stop the fullback, whether it's been McEwen or Barlow or even Hover went in for a series in the Garden City game. Hutchinson has had great success just handing the ball to the fullback and playing power football right up the middle between the tackles. Somewhere along the line, an opponent is going to have to key on the fullback and force Hutchinson to do something else.
That left side of the Hutchinson offensive line has been so solid, but we understand that Ragosa is questionable.
Ragosa is questionable tonight, and he plays left tackle. He's played it so well. Mason Seitz been doing a great job at left guard. Cooper Doobie has been...
He's really stepped up.
Yeah, he has made great strides this year. He's a junior playing center, and he's doing a wonderful job. Chase Kepler at right guard, and, of course, Jonathan Fan, the lone senior on that starting offensive line, has been leading the way at right tackle. And it's been a very impressive offensive line that fires off the ball with a low pad level and gets leverage on those defensive players.
In the slot, we've seen Barlow a lot. Once in a while, he'll sub back at fullback should we have a situation where McEwen's not in there, but McEwen certainly is the man with putting up 149 yards in the first game of the year. Not so many because of the leg cramps against Garden City, but then 292 and now, 212 this last week. My goodness, he's right out where he wants to be averaging, starting to get some looks, and they're going to have to cue on him, but that might mean the slots might get a little bit of work tonight.
That's true, and if that's, again, this Hutchinson offense is designed, whatever the defense takes away from it, they have another option to go to. That's part of why you run the veer. So you've got Noah Kokar, that is a very competent, not only receiver, but a very good runner. And you've got all of those slots are capable of running the ball as well. Anthony Blackwell can run it. And you mentioned Jalen Barlow, he's a good one. And let's not forget about the quarterback, Miles Thompson.
Yes.
He can run it himself.
He can run it well, or throw it either way. And again, also Blackwell's played well, and Barlow also, both of them good blocking backs as well. So, well, Dan, we're about set to go. Sarah's in the booth with the camera, and Joe Blake on the sidelines. And haven't seen Joe yet, so we'll make sure he's down there. But we'll see. We'll have all the action coming your way, and we'll check with him and see how the weather's going to be. I think it's going to be a beautiful night. And it's a beautiful night for football.
It's a great night for football.
Let's take a break. We'll be back with the opening kickoff coming your way in just a few minutes. So long, everybody. We'll see you next week on another Salthawk football pregame show.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salthawk football pregame show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salthawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's time for Hutchinson Salthawks Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, and the Medicine Shop. Salthawks Sports is also brought to you by these Salthawk Boosters, Jackson Meat, Wynn Insurance Group, and Summit Surgical of Hutchinson. Sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host for Salthawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Andover. We're just in time for our national anthem, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Andover High School. We're just at the District Stadium, directly across the street from Andover. I'm Glenn Brunwell, joined by Dan Nacarado, and what a beautiful night for football. Matter of fact, it's not just beautiful, it's
A great night for football.
that it is. As we're in Andover, first time we've ever met the Trojans on the football field.
Andover High School opened in 1982, and in all of that amount of time, Andover and Hutchinson have never played each other in football, so it's going to be a fun time tonight to get acquainted.
We talked about the fact that we weren't sure Joe was going to make it at the time that you and I did the pregame show, but Joe Blake is here, and he's on the sideline, and right now it looks to be 64 degrees game time temperatures, Joe. It's one of the coldest evenings we've had out here for you.
Yeah, I had to go into the long sleeve for this game tonight. We got a 10-mile-per-hour wind that'll be moving right to left on your stream.
But what's really interesting is Dan and I both looked at the flags on top of the goalpost, and they're barely fluttering away, so I don't think that's going to be too much of a situation to win. But also, we're not down in a bowl. We're even with ground level, so but we do have pretty high bleachers on both sides. You think that'll affect it any?
Yeah, I think the wind will have a little bit of an impact. Not too big of an impact, but we will see it. Factor in the
Low's going to get down to 52, so if you get cold down there, come out and get my jacket, okay? Good to have you along on the sidelines as well. Joe's sponsored by Jackson Meat, as well as also Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's Pizza at, again, 17th and Plum, and 13 West 6th is Jackson Meat. We really appreciate them sponsoring Joe on the sideline. So your expectation of this ball game?
Expect this one to be a little bit lower scoring than what we saw last week when Hutchinson and Newton played one another. We thought that would be a shootout, and it turned out that way with Hutchinson prevailing 54-42. Tonight, I expect it to be quite a bit lower scoring. You never can be sure what will happen in a high school football game, but I would expect 21 points might be enough to win this game tonight.
It certainly might. Now, I'm quite a bit older than you are, Dan, but do you remember 50 years ago today when Wichita State lost 14 individuals that were members of their football team, 14 also staff, 28 lost their lives in a plane crash up in the Colorado Mountains on their way to Utah State. Happened 50 years ago today. I remember it. I remember where I was. I was a senior at Fort Hays State University, but they never recovered for that. They finally finished the program, did away with it in 1986, but that was 16 years later. But what a great loss.
One of those tragedies that you just feel awful when something like that happens.
I heard Mitch Holtis, the voice of the Chiefs, this morning talk about that. His wife's cousin was a member of that football team. He was from McPherson. No, he was from Platte, Missouri, Platte City, Missouri. There were several players from McPherson, also Derby, so several in-state products on that team back in those days. And he is making a situation where every week he's going to honor and bio one of each one of those players, all 14 that lost their lives throughout the fall and into the winter with Chiefs football as well.
It's a wonderful tribute. That plane went down in Colorado, if I remember right, somewhere in Colorado.
Yes, exactly. And it's not that far off of I-70 where the site is. That Mitch said he and his wife traveled out there this summer to spend some time there, and just wanted to our wishes to those family and friends that lost loved ones in that terrible tragedy that happened 50 years ago today. So this game right now, Hutchinson coming out of their locker room, Andover's already out. This could be interesting. Andover 2-2. They're in Division II of the Ark Valley League, and those two losses were close ball games. The Mays was one of them. Derby was the other one.
They did drop 20-6 to Mays. And then they beat Ark City 21-0.
They got the win over Ark City, yes.
They beat Salina Central 35-6.
And it was Eisenhower that got them.
Eisenhower got them 16-7 last Friday night. The big defensive lineman Nick Parker, 6'3", 250. He went out of that game last week on the first play of the game. We understand he is back and ready to play again tonight. So that's good news for the Andover Trojan fans. In week one, Max Middleton, he ran for 177 yards on 19 carries. Then week two, in that win over Ark City went for it on fourth down 3 different times. They were 0 for 3 on fourth down conversion attempts. That Andover defense toughened up. And then in the 35-6 win over Salina Central committed 6 turnovers, including 4 interceptions by that Andover defense.
If you heard the pregame, number 22 is a relative of Dan's. He's a grandnephew, Max Middleton, and we'll be probably calling his name because he plays quite a bit out of that running back position. He is a junior at Andover.
Actually, he is, and he will start both on offense and defense, which is the Andover approach is different from Hutchinson. Hutchinson has 11 different players start on offense and from defense, but at Andover there are 6 players who start both on offense and defense. Now, a lot of people think that fatigue sets in a situation like that. As a coach, I never felt like fatigue was as big of a problem as not being able to get your whole defensive unit together on the sideline to make adjustments during the game and not get your entire offensive unit together on the sideline to make in-game adjustments.
Hutchinson won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Hutchinson will defend the goal to their south. Andover will defend the goal to the north. This is a north and south football field, again, just off of Andover Road, directly across from the high school. And look to me, there's a big crane, a lot of construction going over at Andover High.
A lot of construction. As a matter of fact, I think the first couple of weeks, the Andover Trojans had to practice out in the outfield of the baseball stadium because they couldn't get to the football stadium.
Interesting. I know we've been there for basketball before, and I've been there for theater things that have taken place. So, anyway, Joe, your thoughts of Hutchinson deferring to the second half?
Always a good decision to defer, in my opinion. That way you can control the wind and the ball. So.
Exactly, especially when that second half comes along. Again, Joe's Sideline Report is brought to you by Jackson Meat, as well as also Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum, Jackson Meat at 13 West 6. We appreciate both of those fine sponsors for sponsoring Joe on the sideline, and we appreciate Joe on the sideline. Randy McKay will be with us next week when we travel up to Salina South, and he'll be filling in for Joe because Joe's down at Cali College and playing tennis down there, so he's a busy freshman in college. We appreciate, though, him taking his time to help out, and we're about set to get underway with the kickoff that's going to be taking place. I also want to mention that Monday the freshman and the JV team will also be streamed. We'll talk about that more later. And as we're set to kick off, Hutchinson will kick the ball away. And it's a good kick, but it goes out of bounds over at about the 11-yard line, so it'll come out to the 35. And Andover's going to have the first possession as we start to get underway. So glad to have you along this evening. Appreciate it. You listen to Salthawks Football on KWBW 1450 AM and 98.5 FM at HutchPost.com.
Head man at Hutchinson High School is Mike Vernon. He's in his 9th season as a head coach, but he spent 3 of those at Nickerson and a couple at Inman. He's in his 4th season at Hutchinson.
They're going to make him kick it over again, so they're going to mark it back to the 35 and tow it from there. So probably a good move, good chance to get a return. Anytime you can try to get a return, it's a good thing. Although I always think that 35-yard line is a pretty liberal spotting of the ball.
It's really a function of how much confidence you have in your offense. Apparently, Coach Ken Dusenberry feels like he would like to give a shorter field to the offense.
All right, here comes the kick again, and it is going to sail out of bounds, exactly the same spotter. No, he's going to play it. It bounces, stayed in bounds, and it's taken all the way back. Is it close to a safety? No, it's not, but it's down all the way to the 2-yard line. And I believe, who's going to have the football, Dan? Did you check that?
Andover should.
Yep, they should have it. But a big mistake of trying to field that. He just about had to field it because Hutch was down trying to get to it.
Turned out to be a mistake not to take the ball at the 35. Coach Ken Dusenberry has been 5 years head coach at Garden Plain. He was an assistant here at Andover High School for 9 years prior to that. He went 42-11 in those 5 years as a head coach at Garden Plain, and now he's back at Andover High School.
Yeah, he was there as assistant for a long time, like you just said. So 1st and 10 from the 2 for Andover. They're deep in their own territory. They give off to Middleton, has some room. He pops it out to about the 5-yard line, gets positive yardage. And Max Middleton sets up now a 2nd down and 6. That ball was fielded as far away from us as it could be, and I thought it was going to tumble out of bounds at about the 12, same spot as before. Not the case. It took a funny football roll like they do. And now it'll be 2nd down and 6. The quarterback is Strauss.
Yeah, that ball just kind of scooted along the sideline and then turned back into play deep towards the Andover end zone.
Stoppage of play before they get it going. And let's see what the flag is going to be. There's a penalty flag on the play. And it's going to be encroachment against the defense.
High school football, if you break the plane, the play is whistled dead. If the defense comes across, it's automatically a penalty, and officials just blow the play dead.
Here comes the give again to Middleton. Has the first down and more, up to the 20, to 25, and tumbles up to about the 27-yard line for a first down for the Trojans.
Max Middleton can play. He's a good running back, and that offensive line at Andover opened up a crease for him to slip through.
Just underway, 11:16 to go in this first quarter of play. No score as of yet. Andover with their first possession, but they got themselves out of the shadows of the end zone because they had it on the 2, and now they have the ball on the 28. First and 10 for the Trojans. Strauss gives it off. Big ball carrier straight away head running is going to be taken by No. And that's how his name's pronounced. It's like N-O, and No.
Spelled N-G-O, but it's pronounced No. And he is a very good running back. He's also a good defensive player. Played quarterback for part of the season last year.
Big boy. He's second down and 9 to pick up of about a yard on the play. They'll split a wide out on the left side, go with the tight end set on the right. Give to Middleton again. He'll cover up and be taken down. Nice play by the Hutchinson Salthawks defensively. It's coming to Ben Patterson, comes and wraps him up around the ankles.
Came from his hawk linebacker position. Made the tackle for a very short gain. And now Hutchinson will go to their nickel package. They'll bring in an extra defensive back and just go with 3 defensive linemen.
So a big third down call. Third down, we'll call it 8. Nose of the football on the Andover 30-yard line. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, along with Joe Blake. So happy to have you along on this 2nd of October. There's jump encroachment again as both the right side defensive end and the left side jumped off, and I think it's going to be against Hutchinson again. So another 5-yard mark off.
So now Hutchinson will go back to their base defense with 3rd and short.
After the 5-yard penalty brings up 3rd down 3.
And here comes 3rd down and 3 now. 3rd down and a long 3. They got to get to the 38. They'll break center. They'll set a wide out on the left side. It's going to be Richardson split out wide on the left. Give away, and he's not going to be able to get there. Well, he's pretty close. He's closer than I thought, as Max Middleton's going to pick up the possible yardage, and let's see, it depends on what the mark's going to be. No. And it will be right on the yard line, and it's a first down. Anymore with the turf that we have, the stripes are pretty accurate.
Don't need to do very many measurements anymore because, as you said, it's not chalk out there. Those are straight stripes that are built into the artificial turf.
Now, 2 penalties have worked against Hutchinson. See if they can clean that up a little bit. 1st and 10 now for Andover. There's another one. And the 3rd time we have encroachment again. And this time jumping across was Hunter Stanford.
9:12 to play in the first quarter. We're just underway at Andover, Kansas. No score. Hutchinson at Andover.
So 1st and 10 now from the 43-yard line. Andover's moving the football by way of penalties, though. They picked up 15 yards in penalties. And then some good Middleton running as well. So 1st and 15. Again, we have encroachment.
It's very uncharacteristic of the Salthawks defense.
That'll be a first down. So we have had 4 encroachment penalties that have taken place on different individuals for the Hudson defense.
Gift wrap drive for Andover by those penalties. Andover, remember, they started this drive on their own 2-yard line after the kickoff. Looked like it would go out of bounds, but then it stayed in bounds. And Hutchinson tackled Andover near their own goal line.
They'll set up in the shotgun. This is kind of a single wing in the gun. They'll give it to Middleton. He's got some room up to the 50. Picks up a couple yards. 2nd down and 8. I don't know. We're too far away to even guess if he's doing some voice inflection on that. Just kind of pulling the defense off, but we've had 4 encroachment penalties that moved the football up the midfield.
And honestly, it shouldn't matter what the quarterback is doing with the cadence, because as a defensive lineman, you either watch the player across from you or you watch the ball.
Back to pass out of the shotgun. Strauss goes left side as a receiver out there. Makes the catch, and then he fumbles it away. Incomplete pass.
It was good coverage out there. by Hutchinson's number 4, Stephon Hunter, who has played excellent defensive back.
He really has. Hunter out there, and also Maddox was back there to help defensively.
But it was a perfect pass. It was a ball that should have been caught, just because a perfect pass always beats perfect coverage.
Third down and 8 now for Andover. Let's see if Hutchinson can get this drive to stall a little bit here. It's at midfield, right short of the 50-yard line on the Andover side. Shotgun formation. Wants to run it on the left side. He has some room. He has the first down, and that is Strauss on the run. Picks up about 9 yards. He only needed 8, so they'll move it to the 41 of Hutchinson.
It was a quarterback keeper by design, well blocked by that Andover offensive line.
First and 10 now for Andover. Now, remember last week, Newton took the opening kickoff and drove it right down and scored easily, so Hutchinson's been behind before. They're no stranger to that. There's a carry by Middleton. He has some room across the 40 to about the 38-yard lines where they're going to mark it. Nice job by Hobber to come up and make the stop for the Salthawks.
Actually, in all 4 Hutchinson wins, what you described happened. That happened at Valley Center, it happened at Garden City, then it happened against Maize South, and it happened against Newton.
Yeah, they have trailed from behind in several games. The back-and-forth one was really Maize South. Last week, when Hutch's lead was cut to 66, we got the big play by Kokar from 50 yards out. Here the give to No, and he fumbles the football. Hutchinson trying to get on, and I think the Salthawks might have it. The way the coaching staff is reacting, they do. And let's check it. Yeah, we'll be covered up by the Trojans, so they keep possession. 3rd down and long.
No might have gotten that one back for Andover.
6:51 to go in quarter 1. First possession for Andover, and they take it all the way down the field with the help of some Salthawk penalties. This one now a 3rd down and about 7. No got some positive yardage, but the ball stripped away from him. Back to pass Strauss. Looks left and goes up the middle. Catch is intercepted. It's intercepted by Hutchinson. Newquist all the way to the 40, and the Salthawks turn back the Andover push and come up with a pick of their own, and Newquist with the interception. So Newquist doing a good job over there reading that, and Strauss, I don't think even saw him, Dan, the way he went straight into Newquist's breadbasket. There was nobody around him.
I did not see an Andover receiver anywhere in the area.
So Hutchinson will set up now, 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line. They give to McEwen. He's been Mr. Everything, and he stopped dead at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Maybe eked out a yard or half a yard. So it brings up a 2nd down and 9.
Again, when Hutchinson takes over on offense, an entire new unit of 11 players comes into the game for Andover. 6 players stay on the field defensively who are playing on offense.
From scores in Kansas, Trinity Catholic, a 7-0 lead over Marion in early action. Here's the giveaway, straightaway running. McEwen again. McEwen last week, 25 carries, 212 yards. The week before, 292 yards on 33 totes.
Over 500 yards in those 2 games combined.
He has 710 yards coming into this contest, and he's picked up a couple right there, actually 4. We'll call it 3rd down and a long 6. It's right at the 43. Got to get to the 50, so 3rd down and 7. The pitch to Kokar on the right side, tries to turn the edge, and he can't do it. Maybe picked up about a yard. It's right at the 45.
The rocket toss usually is more effective than that. The Andover Trojans are fast. They made sure that Kokar could not turn the corner.
And I believe Hutchinson's going to have to punt the football away. 4th down and 5. Pick up a couple on that toss over there around that right edge. Kokar scored against Maize South with that, and have also scored last week as well against Newton on a 61-yarder.
It was a Titan play of the game a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, sure was.
On the rocket toss. Deep for Andover, Isaiah Mycori.
Here we're going to kick it away. The snap is good. The kick is good. It's up and on its way. Fair catch is going to be taken out about the 17-yard line, excuse me. So McCory decides to call the fair catch early, and they'll mark it with his forward progress to the 19. So 1st and 10 at the 19 for Andover. Their second possession of the game. No scores of yet. 4:36 remaining to go. Again, we're in the first quarter of play.
Like we mentioned in the pregame, we expected this one to be more of a defensive struggle as opposed to last week's Hutchinson-Newton game that was an offensive shootout.
Let's talk about that. There's a give on that left side. Actually fumbled
the snap. He's in the shotgun.
Yeah.
And the snap was low. And
loss of 9 on the play, Dan, is considerably lost right there all the way back. They'll mark it at the 11.
Strauss just never fielded it clean as he tried to pick it up off his shoestrings.
Strauss spelled S-T-R-A-U-S-Z. So not how it's, doesn't sound like a spell, right? Strauss throws left side. Catch is made over there. They'll catch it and get it across the 30 and knocked out of bounds at about the 22-yard line, excuse me. Not enough for the first down by a long margin, but it did get it back to the original line of scrimmage and beyond.
Ethan Richardson made the catch, and Kinzer Newquist made the tackle.
He's a senior. Ethan's a senior, 175, 5'11". Nice little flare pass on the left side. And caught him in stride. 3rd down and 7 now, so Hutchinson defensively needs to hunker down right here and try to force a punt for Andover. 3:49 to go in this first quarter. No scores of yet. Andover with the second possession. They'll run the left side. There's the pitch outside of Middleton. Turns the corner, has a turn, and gets across the 20 up to about the 24-yard line. Actually past that. Let's see exactly. They'll mark it right at the 24. So 4th down and long now. Andover forced into a punting situation.
Speed option. The quarterback ran straight at the defensive end. When the defensive end went to tackle the quarterback, he pitched it to Middleton. Ben Patterson came from his opposite side linebacker position to make the stop.
We've had one interception in the game. Newquist took it back up to the Hutchinson 30-yard line thereabouts, and Hutchinson stalled their first possession.
Trey Peterson deep to field the punt.
Here comes the kick, and it's going to bounce, and did Peterson touch it? He's acting like he might have, or at least Andover is, but getting on it quickly is Hopper right there with no doubt. 47-yard line, Hutchinson will have it. It looked like me like he might have touched it, but Hopper got on it.
He certainly reacted like he thought he touched it.
And Andover players certainly did. So 1st and 10 to no avail. Hopper was able to jump on it. Jack Hopper playing really good football his senior year. And Hutch will break center, and Doobie will lead them up. And Hutchinson on offense now. For the second time, their second possession, no scores of yet. 2:55 to go in quarter one. Man in motion is Blackwell. Back to passes. Thompson gets it. Oh, the Kokari has it. Up to the 40, down to the 35-yard line, and thrown out of bounds, and a flag flies at about the 33. Caught it dead stride, took it around that edge. It might have been a face mask.
Or a horse collar, possibly.
So the flag was thrown immediately over there. They marked the football at the 33. It is a horse collar. Good job, Dan Nacarado. And it's a 15-yarder from the spot of the infraction, so that's going to take it well inside the 20.
Hutchinson offense pretty ineffective on the first possession. They went 3 and out, had to punt. But 1st and 10 on their second possession, a very impressive pass completion and big gain.
So Hutchinson now with the football. Straightaway running. Well, fumble on the play, and Andover says they have it. Let's see the call, and it will be Andover football. McCoon coughed it up, and the Trojans come up with the fumble, and will have the possession. Joe, were you down in any position to be able to take a good look at that, buddy?
Yeah, McEwen just got caught up in the middle of the pile, and they were clawing for it, and Andover came up with it.
Many times that happens as they start clawing for that football, and Andover comes up with the football. Joe's comments brought to you by Jackson Meat at 13 West 6th and Papa John's Pizza at 17th and Plum. They'll split wideouts left side this time. Third possession of the game for Andover. 2:44 to go in the first quarter. Nothing there. Straight ahead running. No tries to take it straight up the middle to bring up a second down and about 9.
Stacked up well there defensively by David Waymeyer and Jack Hopper.
1 yard on the play.
Gain of a yard on the play. So they'll send in the play from the sidelines this time. Bringing it in as Isaiah McCory comes in and out of the wide receiver spot. Splitting out wide is Richardson on the left side. Strauss, the quarterback, out of that shotgun formation. Wants to throw the football. Back to pass. Lets it go. Has a man out there. Jump ball forward. Catch is made at the 48. He was tackled immediately. And Mike Corey comes down with the catch.
Mike Corey beat the double coverage. 2 Salthawks in excellent position. And Strauss pretty much threw the ball up for grabs in the middle of the 3 of them. But Mike Corey was the one to come down with it.
Pretty good throw by the sophomore quarterback for Andover. Back in the shotgun again, 1st and 10. Hutchinson shows blitz. He'll give it off to Middleton. He has some room, and he has room to run all the way up inside the Salthawk territory to the 46-yard line.
Andover is having success with that run play to Middleton. That's the 5th time they've called that exact same play. Every single time Middleton has picked up yards with it.
2nd down and 3 now for the Trojans of Andover. They're inside the Salthawk territory with the ball at the 46. 1:19 to go in quarter 1. They give the way again to Middleton. He's tumbled forwards across the 45 to about the 44-yard line. It's going to be short of the 1st down. 3rd down and 1.
That was the same play again. Football coaches, when something is working offensively, they tend to just keep going back to the well until the defense makes them do something different.
Emilio Rodriguez is the defensive man for the Salthawks on that left side of the offensive line. Or defensive line, excuse me. Here, giveaway straight ahead, running Middleton has the 1st down, and Moore still on his feet across the 40, and he stopped there. They'll mark him at about the 38-yard line for forward progress. 1st and 10 Andover with 40 seconds to go in the first quarter of play.
Spencer Newquist was clawing at the ball, got pretty close there.
Yeah, they had him stood straight up after he had the 1st down, trying to get that ball out of his hands, but he hung on tight. 1st and 10 now for the Trojans. Ball at the 38 of Hutchinson. Back to pass to Strauss. Fakes the pass. Now it goes long. Pumps it out there. Receivers out there defensively, and they knock it away. No flag. And good double coverage over there by Hutchinson.
Again, Strauss threw it up there, hoping that his receiver, Mike Corey, would be able to just out-jump the Salthawks to make the reception. But not that time.
Devin Hackney back there to break it up. We have a couple grandmas down in Texas. Grandma Hill always talks about Hackney and how well he plays. And then we have another grandmother that is Seitz's grandmother's down in Texas someplace. So we love those grandmothers commenting on Facebook. 2nd down and 10 now for Andover. They give to Middleton. Now he's strapped up, but he gets away and back to original line of scrimmage. Maybe eked out a yard, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and long.
Somehow Middleton avoided the tackle for loss and just sheer determination found a way to pick up a yard.
They'll mark it at the 37, so you're right, a yard on the play. 3rd down and 9. And that is the end of the first quarter play, a scoreless first quarter play. Hutchinson nothing, Andover nothing. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We head to the second quarter of play here at Andover. No scores of yet. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado in the booth with you. Sarah Peterson on the video stream and Joe Hill on the sidelines. 3rd down and 9. A key 3rd down play right here, Dan Nacarado, as we start the second quarter of play for the Andover Trojans.
Andover dominated the statistical battle in the first quarter, picking up 92 yards.
but none in the end zone. Back to pass. Thrown by Strauss over on the far side. Picks up about 7. The catch over there is made by Quentin Bourne. Wide receiver over there. He is a junior. Made the catch, but it's going to bring up a 4th down, and maybe this is a where you go for it situation right here. And Strauss looked like he's going to stay in there.
You don't get much out of a punt when you're on your opponent's 32-yard line. And Hutchinson has shown a propensity to jump into the neutral zone and encroach, so don't be surprised if Strauss tries to pull Hutchinson
You're exactly right. 4th down and 5. Strauss back to pass. Gets out of the pocket to his left side. Wants to throw it across his body. Incomplete. And Hutchinson will take over on downs at that spot. It'll be at the 32. Go ahead, Joe.
I think that was a designed receiver screen, and Strauss and his receiver were not on the same page, and the receiver took off somewhere where it wasn't a screen, wasn't what he was supposed to be doing, so Strauss panicked.
Quentin Bourne ran to the open area, and he was wide open, but Strauss just couldn't quite get it to him.
Good call, Joe. Joe's sideline report's brought to you again by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza. So here goes Hutchinson with another possession. 11:15 to go in the second quarter of play. No score as of yet, folks. It's a nice stadium, nice press box. Impressed with our facilities up here. The turn to give straight away running. This time it's McEwen. He's gotten loose. He's across the 50, down to the 48, make it to the 47-yard line. The mark it officially at the 48 where his knee touched. But a nice run by McEwen all the way to the 48-yard line. Nice positive yardage.
That's what Alec McEwen does. Give him a little opening between the tackles, and he'll just keep overpowering would-be tacklers.
Yeah, we've talked about that on many occasions. Give straight away running. Nope, he's going to keep on the outside. It's going to be Thompson, and he has the first down. Picked up 10 yards, faked me out as I thought he gave it to McEwen, but Thompson showing some speed over there. The senior quarterback, signal caller, carries it over and moves the chains all the way down to the 38.
Thompson read the defensive tackle. He came down to tackle the fullback, so Thompson kept the ball himself.
Talk with Drew Dallas, the head coach at Hutchinson Community College, about Thompson. They're straight away running, pick up a 3 yards on the play. McEwen, we talked about him being such a large target that he's really played well this year. You can hear Drew Dallas's comments this next Thursday night on Reno County Coaches Show and more. Rob Dreher and I have guests from all around the county. 6 o'clock is the time on KWBW Radio.
Crazy year where Hutchinson Community College will play their football schedule in the spring.
Yeah, March 26th, the first game. Thompson, the quarterback. The give straight away running again. Here's positive yardage. This time McEwen all the way up to about the 30-yard line, short of the first down by a couple yards. They're going to give it to the 29, so it will be a 3rd down and 1.
That offensive line on the left side, Ragosa at left tackle, Seitz at left guard, Doobie at center, opened a nice hole. Also had some good lead blocking from the slot back.
Ragosa was questionable. Glad to see him out there. Not sure how long he'll be able to go, but he wasn't feeling too good as of Wednesday. Thompson keeps it, gives it off now to Kokar, gets the edge, gets the first down, and a few more yards as well. And an injured player for Hudson on the sidelines pops up. That's Blackwell. He'll be okay. So Hudson with a first down and moves it on down. 9:27 to go in the second quarter of play. Hudson, their deepest penetration other than the fact that they had pinned Andover back at the 2. Right now they're on offense and have it at the 25 of Andover. 1st and 10 for Hutch. That's starting to open things up with Kokar around that left side. Thompson as well running back to passes. Thompson lefty lets it go. Overthrows the intended receiver, which was Kokar. He would have had room to run if he would have caught it. But it falls incomplete. It brings up a 2nd down and 10.
Sometimes you can have a fair idea of what Hutchinson wants to do depending on where Noah Kokar lines up offensively. Sometimes he's at wide receiver. Sometimes he's the slot on the left. Sometimes he's the slot on the right.
He's that slot on the left right now. Peterson on the right side. To give it to McEwen. He has plenty of room, especially across the 30, and he busted forward all the way down to about the 24-yard line. Nice run right there by McEwen. 3rd down and 3.
That was the midline option. On that play, the quarterback reads the first defensive player to the right of the center. If he doesn't tackle the fullback, Thompson gives the ball to McEwen.
You do not have to have too much of an opening. Oh, ball again fumbled away, and let's see what's happened. Is it Andover on it? Andover acts like they've had it, but it will be. Andover comes up with the fumble by McEwen, and the ball will go over to the Trojans. So they turn back Hutchinson's deepest penetration into Trojan territory at the 18. So turnovers and penalties have plagued Hutchinson so far in his first half of play with 8:51 to go in this first half.
Andover has forced 2 fumbles and recovered them. Hutchinson defense has 1 interception to their credit, but no score in this football game.
1st and 10 from the 18 for Andover. Strauss, the quarterback, sends a wide receiver on the left side. He'll go with that full house single wing look to give to Middleton around the right side, and he turns upfield to about the 20. Picks up a couple on the play, 2 yards to be exact. 2nd down and 8 for Andover. Waymeyer comes out to make the stop.
I don't think we mentioned Isaiah Phillips is not available. He's could be out for several weeks due to an injury that he sustained earlier last week. Isaiah Phillips, normally a defensive tackle for Hutchinson.
Split a wide out, a little confusion as to where the wideouts are supposed to be on that left side. Option, kicks it out. Here's the left side, and new ball carrier. Ball knocked out of bounds at about the 30. They had the first down. But
little flag on the field.
Okay, we'll see what that's about. That was Joshua Sparks, number 35. He's a senior. See if it's coming back or not.
Sparks, a starting linebacker for the Trojans, moved over to the offensive side of the ball and carried it very well, but it might be coming back.
The press box facility here are kind of similar, Dan, to Mays to some extent. They have a primary press box in the middle, and the coaches' boxes are separated on the outside. But we'll get a great view from this angle. It's going to go against Hutchinson, I believe, or let's see. Nope, it's going to go against Andover. Excuse me.
I think we had a blindside block to some extent on the Andover receiver. We think they got Isaiah McElroy.
All right, thank you, Joe. 8:08 to go in the second quarter of play, and they'll march it all the way back to the south. They'll mark it at about the 10-yard line. So that's a big one. 2nd down and long, 2nd and 20.
See if that Hutchinson Salthawk defense can take advantage of that miscue by Andover.
Salthawk football on KWBW Hutchinson, Kansas, and as well as on HutchPost.com. Just go to HutchPost, go to the sports section. You can see the live video. Pick up the stream right there. Movement again on that left side. We have another defensive penalty against Hutchinson for encroachment. Martinez jumped on that left side. Trying to time that snap and failing to do so.
At some point, we might have to put earbuds in the defensive linemen helmets or something to keep them from listening to the snap.
It hadn't hurt them yet. That ends up being a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down and about 12 to 13 right now. 2nd down and 13, we'll call it. Pass on the outside. Quick catch is made to the 20, to the 25, and knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Enough for the first down to Richardson. He's been the primary receiver.
And give Quentin Bourne all kinds of credit for sealing the Salthawk defense with a great block and creating some running room.
7:37 to go in the second quarter of play. No score as of yet. Stops the clock as he went out of bounds with 7:37 to go. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Andover 28-yard line.
Andover defense forced a fumble. And then the Andover offense committed a penalty to put them in 2nd and 20, but they picked it up.
1st and 10. Here's Strauss, gives it to Middleton around the right side, across the 30. Stopped up there and stacked up a whole host of defensive players for Hutchinson. Stops him short of maybe about a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down, and we'll say it a long 8.
By number 37, David Waymeyer.
So Waymeyer comes up to make the stop.
Gain of 3 yards on the play. Brings up
Strauss gets the play in from the sidelines. He comes to the stacked huddle, and now they'll split wideouts left and right. Now they go with the tight end sit on the right side. Wide receiver left. The give to Middleton. Belly serious. Straight away running. He's got some room. He has the first down. Stretches across the 38, and that's where he needed to get to. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. with 6:54 to go in this second quarter of play. Andover starting to move the football.
That Andover offensive line is pretty impressive. It's a little bit surprising to me that Andover has struggled to score points in those first 4 games. Again, they're only averaging about 10 points a game.
Coach Vernon talked about it being kind of a single wing. The pitch on the outside to Richardson. Again, sidesteps the defender, goes forward into the Salthawk territory all the way to the 45-yard line. Picks up positive yardage of about a 23-yard pickup right there. So Hackney made the stop, but not before Richardson got positive yardage. Andover first down.
Brings up 1st and 10, ball on the Salthawks 45-yard line.
The break huddle, ball on the 45. Give it straight away running again up to the 40, pick up a 5 yards on the play.
Give credit to that Andover offensive line of Goodnight, Fanistock, Bogner, Piper.
Middleton, another positive yardage carry up to the 40.
Well, I think that time they ran behind Nick Parker, and that Andover offensive line got movement.
Both sides of that offensive line are working well for Andover. Middleton, now check that. It's going to be a different ball carrier. Picking it up is going to be Sparks on the carry. Moves it closer to that first down marker, but it will be a 3rd down and 2.
Clock is running, 5.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. No score. Hutchinson at Andover for the first time ever for these two teams to play one another.
They'll mark it at the 37. Got to get to the 35. And he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 22, back Middleton.
Middleton comes up with the carry.
Devin Hackney.
And Grandma Hill's jumping up and down right now as he came in with a great stop right there.
Devin Hackney has been coming up huge defensively over and over again all season.
Says Devin's her only grandson, and she really misses him, loves watching him play football on HutchPost.com. Back to pass, left side, in and out of Richards' hands, close to being intercepted, but incomplete as that ball popped straight up in the air, and it had disaster written all over for Andover.
The ball went through Richardson's hands and bounced up off of his thigh pad.
What'd you see, Joe?
I think it was off of his helmet, and also I think that's the same play they were trying to run on the earlier 4th down.
Sure was.
Got busted.
So Hutchinson will take over now. The bend didn't break. 4:45 to go in this first quarter. Somebody's got to get on the scoreboard as we're scoreless so far in this matchup between Division I rival Hutchinson and Andover. Andover's in Division II. Quarterback Thompson. The give this time to Barlow. He's across the 40. Picks up about a yard and a half on the play. It's a little counter around from that left slot. Stop made by Scarborough for Andover. 4:28 and counting left to go in this second quarter play. No scores as of yet. 2nd down and 7 facing Hutchinson. Ball on their own 40. Melissa Lope will be our guest at halftime after we do the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. Melissa is the debate coach at Hutch High, and also is the director of football operations for Mike Vernon. Back to pass. Miles Thompson has a receiver out there. Cokar stretches out, cannot get to it. It was about the 30. He stretched as far as he could and just out of the reach of his fingertips.
He got a step behind the defense. The ball just a little bit overthrown, but again, when you're throwing a long pass, you'd rather throw it too long than too short. You throw a long pass too short and it gets picked.
3rd down and 7. That was a 2nd down call. Not a bad call on 2nd down. Try to stretch that defense out. Kokar, not enough air underneath it for Kokar to get up and run underneath it. He has some speed. Thompson looks over the defense. They come and plug the blitz, but the give straight away running. Nice, positive running all the way up to the 48. Very close to the first down is McEwen. He had to get to the 48, and it's really close. He's short by about a half a yard. And I think Mike Vernon's going to maybe talk things over. Let's check it for sure. He turns to the bench right now. Barlow checks out. It's 4th and 1. Let's see if Thompson sneaks it or not. 4th down and 1 for Hutchinson. 3:36 to go in and they're stopped. Hutchinson is stopped. Nothing there. As trying to go straight away with it was McEwen, and he is stopped for no gain on the play. And taking over now will be Andover. They'll have an opportunity deep in Salthawk territory with 3:33 to go. Had the football 1st and 10. No score as of yet. Now mark this one right at the 47-yard line.
Hutchinson had been 8 out of 13 on 4th down conversion attempts before that one. So that's a 62% success rate. But that Andover defense shut them down.
A split a wide out left. That's Richardson again. He's had a good night. To give them to the right side of Middleton has some room and might have got the first down. He stretches all the way out. They'll mark it just short of the 40, so short by about 3 yards. 2nd down and short for Andover. The clock moving down to 3:19. Probably be around the 3-minute mark by the time they get the ball snapped. Tell you what, impressed with this single wing offense out of the shotgun with Middleton, and I'm impressed with Middleton.
They're grinding out yards against that Salthawk defense. But again, just as they've been doing all season, the defense tends to toughen up when it gets into the red zone.
Richardson splits wide left. They go with the tight end on the right side. Again, that single wing situation back to throw with Strauss. That's the receiver out there, out-throws him. Incomplete pass.
Good coverage again by Stephon Hunter.
Stops the clock on the incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and short. From right at the 40-yard line. 2:45 to go in this second quarter of play. No scores have yet. Both teams have had opportunities. Hutchinson drove it all the way down to about the 25-yard line, fumbled the football away. 3rd down and about 4. Middleton, he's hit. Stretches out. It's going to be close. I think he's a yard short. 4th down and 1. Andover will probably go for it. It will be a 4th and 1 call. Middleton was hit pretty hard on the left side, but stretched out. And Pedersen came up to make the stop. So he picked up a couple. He's a good-looking running back.
Andover may let the play clock run down and see what they're facing defensively.
Yeah, they'll look out there defensively, see how Hutchinson's stacking up. Play clock is at 12, game clock at 2:06. And stoppage of play, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Andover takes the timeout. We'll get a break in as well. A half-minute break coming your way. 2:03 to go in quarter number 2. No score. Hutchinson and Andover. We'll be back with more from Andover, Kansas in 30 seconds.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Second quarter score as well. Mays 21, Salina South 6. Also Ark City 7, Salina Central 7 in football action. Wichita South also 8, Wichita West 6 out of City League. Right here it is a 4th down and 2 facing Andover with 2:03 to go in the second quarter of play in a scoreless ball game. No score as of yet. Give to Middleton, has the first down. All the way to the 35, needed a couple, got 4. So they'll keep it going with 1:59 to go. Clock will rewind once they get the ball set, and there it goes.
Brings up 1st and 10.
So Trojans split Richardson wide left. Bring him quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Here's the shotgun formation to give to Middleton. Slow start, but now he has some room, and he's inside of Salthawk territory, stopped at about the 32, 33-yard line.
If you're thinking field goal, Andover probably needs to get the ball to about the 15 or 20-yard line to have a reasonable chance of making it.
2nd and 6 with 1:24 to go. Joe?
They do have the wind in their favor if they
do
want to try that, so
and
give them a couple extra yards.
Picked up a little bit as well.
Yeah, it has.
So 2nd down and 6 now. Ball at the 32. The pitch on the outside, Middleton trying to turn. Actually, that's No trying to turn the corner, and he gets knocked out of bounds. Stops the clock at the 25-yard line. Is it enough for the first down? And it is. 1st and 10 now for Andover with 1:04 to go in the second quarter play. Last couple games, Hutchinson's been scored on in the second quarter. Last week it was 13 seconds remaining. I think the week before was about 27 seconds remaining to go. We were tied at halftime in both those games. Give to Middleton, right side, angles, has some room, and stumbles forward. See where they mark it, and a flag on the play.
Flag came flying in from the whiteout behind the play. Oh, that's a big-time penalty against Andover.
So holding play, it was short of the first down, but not by much. 57 seconds remaining to go in this second quarter of play. That's going to back it up. And let's see if from the spot of the hold or not. And it came from the white hat, so it's going to be off that offensive backfield.
Had it not been for that holding penalty, Andover probably would have been in field goal range.
Ball just short of the 35. It's on the Hutchinson side of the 35-yard line. 1st and 19 to call here. The give to No again, trying to get around that left side. He turns the corner, has some room. He's a battling back. Loose football. Hutchinson has it. Salthawks came up with it.
Stephon Hunter, what a play. He stripped that ball right out.
And Mason Weathers was able to come up and jump on the football. So 42 ticks left to go on the clock. In the second quarter, Hutchinson will take over after the fumble. Both teams have had trouble hanging on to the football. That was the fumble by No.
That's the 4th turnover in the first half. 2 turnovers committed by each team.
Just got a text that somebody's picking up somebody talking other than just us. So we want to make sure the queues are all closed at the station. Here's a giveaway on the outside. Kokar trying to turn the corner. Has it the 30 to the 35. Has the first down. And a positive yardage for Hutchinson.
Result of the play is 1st down, Hutchinson.
Timeout, Hutch.
And it will be a timeout taken. 36 ticks on the clock. A quick 30-second timeout. No squirrels if you had Hutchinson moving the chains. We'll be back in a half minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I think we just figured out that we maybe had the crowd mic a little loud because the PA was talking over us as well. We'll crank that down a little bit. With 36 seconds remaining to go before halftime, no score as of yet. Positive pickup by Hutchinson up to the 35-yard line, Hutch's own 35. Dan, with 36 seconds left to go before halftime in a scoreless game, you can maybe take a little chance here.
Especially
1st and 10.
Especially since Hutchinson is now out to that 35-yard line. They have a little bit of room to work with. If they make a mistake, it probably wouldn't cost them.
So here comes Thompson. Up to the line of scrimmage, back to throw. He's going to go long. He has Peterson out there. Peterson trying to get to it. Can't reach out and get it. It falls innocently to the turf at about the 25-yard line. Gave it a ride. Peterson had a couple steps on the closest defender, but was not able to get under it. 31 seconds to go before intermission. Great effort right there, and it's just what you and I were talking about. Why not go for the home run?
Sure.
Thompson's got an arm. He showed it last week. Now, that was a 50-yard completion to Kokar. This one would have been longer than that. So now the pitch on the outside. Let's see if McEwen can turn the edge and hang on to the football. He does it across the 40 to about the 42. Picks up about 8 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 2. And will Hutchinson call another timeout? I believe they will. So Salthawks are going to talk things over. We will as well. Another 30-second break coming your way. Hutchinson nothing, Trojans nothing. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
16 seconds to go before halftime. No score as of yet. Hutchinson facing a 3rd down and 3 situation with the ball at the 38-yard line. No, check Hutchinson's 42-yard line. Hutchinson's own 42.
The official asked for 2 more seconds to be placed on the clock.
And they changed it up to 18. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Joe Blake. Joe Blake's call on the sideline by Jackson Meat, Papa John's Pizza. Back to pass is Thompson. Left side. Has a receiver out there. Coker with it at the 20. Down to the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Hutchinson. A long pass all the way down from the 42. A 58-yarder. And for the 3rd week in a row, Noah Kokar with the big play. Thompson with a huge toss. Wow, what a play by Thompson to Kokar. Went for the home run, and he hit a big one.
That is so big because Hutchinson, it's been a scoreless game, a defensive struggle. That puts Hutchinson in the lead before halftime, and Hutchinson will receive the second half kickoff.
Well, there's in the running again for the Titans. Home services play of the game. What a play by Kokar. What a throw by Thompson. The kick is up and on its way, and Hutchinson's on the board with 7. 7-0. Hutchinson with the lead with 11 seconds to go. We await the Hutchinson kickoff coming your way right after this 30-second timeout.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Oh my, what a long home run that was by Thompson. And we do have an injured player by Andover on the sidelines. We'll see is that Richardson? Might be. Okay, Ethan Richardson is injured. He's their main receiver that they have. So we'll have to double check and see how he's going to be.
He's also a starting defensive back. He's one of those two-way starters for Andover.
So with 11 seconds to go, here's the Hutchinson kickoff. Kind of a squiver out of bounds. It goes. They'll throw the flag, and no time does not go off the clock.
Would kind of expect that Andover would make Hutchinson kick it again. That's what they did early.
So we'll see if they do that again.
Well, they're going to send the offense out. Didn't work out too well for Andover the last time they made Hutchinson kick again.
No, they did not. And all the way down to the 2, but ended up not hurting them any. So we'll see what they do here. As Andover's going to decide to take it from there. So Hutchinson sets up defensively. Play stopped with the 1 second off the clock. Penalty against the encroachment. 6 penalty against Hutchinson for encroachment.
Only 10 seconds to play in the first half. So Hutchinson defensively just wants to keep Andover in front of them. Don't let anybody get behind you. Sometimes in this situation, the offense's best bet is to throw the pass under the coverage and hope for the run after catch.
We'll see what they do here. Back to pass is Strauss. Airs it out. Left side. Trying to go way long, incomplete pass. No flag on the play. 7 seconds to go. So it'll bring up a 3rd down call. Pretty good coverage down there. Newquist with good coverage all the way down.
On the 40-yard line.
That was a long pass down there. Strauss showing that he can air it out. I'm impressed with his throwing ability. And now with 7 seconds remaining to go before halftime, he'll face his second down and 5 from his own 40-yard line. If you just tuned in, Hutchinson scored just seconds ago with 11 seconds to go in the quarter, and another timeout's going to be taken. We'll get a break in as well. We'll be back. A 30-second timeout. Hutchinson leading 7-0 from Andover. We'll be right back.
The No Fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Well, Andover with the timeout with 7 seconds to go in the second quarter of play. Lightning struck here at the 11-second mark by way of the long pass, the 58-yarder by Kokar. The catch by Kokar from Thompson. Tell you what, Miles Thompson has continued to impress me with his arm. That was a very accurate throw.
Hit him right in stride. The left-hander, Miles Thompson.
All right, shotgun formation for Strauss. Low snap, but he gets it. Looks to his right side, throws it away. Catch is made at the 50, room to run all the way down, and finally tackle from behind to get the first down. But that's going to run out the clock, and halftime is here. So Hutchinson, with 11 seconds to go in the quarter, threw a 58-yard touchdown pass to Noah Kokar, the sizzling sophomore, and takes in at halftime a 7-0 lead. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, get set to chat about this first half of play. We get set for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. Again, your score from Andover, 7-0. Salthawks on top. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post morning news in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Welcome back at halftime. It is 7-0. Hutchinson with the early lead. This is the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main, the Medicine Shop. It's been around for so many years. Hey, you know what? It's flu season. And Rick Stone let me know by email that they have the flu vaccine in, but they don't have the heavy-duty dose for 65 and older. That should be in next week. He's going to let me know. We'll let you know. You can tune in the morning show, and we'll be sure and let you know whether or not they've got that or not. But if you're below 65, they've got the dose, and Lacey has the the softest touch. Stop in and see what all they have as well in the over-the-counter products. Don't forget that CBD oil that they have is grown and processed in Rice County by Prairie Hills Hemp Company. They carry several different pills and ointments that you can apply, and it really, really works. It's a really good product, pharmaceutical grade, so stop in and see what all they have. And highlight-wise, it was a big 58-yarder, Dan Nacarado, and it sounded like this. Check Hutchinson's 42-yard line, Hutchinson's own 42.
The official asked for 2 more seconds to be placed on the clock.
And they changed it up to 18. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Joe Blake. Joe Blake's call on the sideline by Jackson Meat, Papa John's Pizza. Back to pass is Thompson. Left side. Has a receiver out there. Coker with it at the 20. Down to the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Hutchinson. A long pass all the way down from the 42, a 58-yarder, and for the 3rd week in a row, Noah Kokar with the big play, Thompson with a huge toss. It's the Major League Baseball postseason, but that was a long home run by Thompson all the way to Kokar, Dan Nacarado.
Well, that was definitely the play of the game in the first half of this one. Who knows what the second half has in store. But right now, the 58-yard touchdown pass from Miles Thompson to Noah Kokar. That's the only points scored in the first half of this game. Hutchinson leads it 7-0 here at Andover. Andover actually ran twice as many offensive plays as Hutchinson in that first half. 42 plays compared to only 21 by Hutchinson. And Andover leads in yards gained also, 191 yards to 163 for Hutchinson. Max Middleton was the workhorse in the first half for the Andover Trojans. He carried it 19 times. He picked up 71 yards in that first half. Offensively for Hutchinson, Alec McEwen, the workhorse again, carried it 11 times, gained 54 yards. But the big strike, 58-yard touchdown pass from Thompson to Kokar, the difference in this football game so far. Defensively, Jack Hoover leads all tacklers with 7 in that first half from his linebacker position, and Kinzer Newquist from his free safety position, 6 tackles for the Salthawks.
And that is your mid-game capsule brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Don't forget CBD oils. They also have all kinds of good products available for you, including those flu shots. So get in and get yourself taken care of. Probably more important than ever this year is to get in and get taken care of with those flu shots. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be coming back to talk to Melissa Lepp, who is a debate coach at Hutch High. We'll be back with more. Coming your way, Hutch 7 and Andover nothing in halftime. We'll be back in 1 minute.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Andover, Kansas. Glenn Grunwald along with Sarah Peterson, Dan Nacarado, and Joe Blake. And also joining us now at halftime, Melissa Lepp, Melissa, you have to be one of the busiest persons all week long with the pictures. If anybody watches on Facebook the Salthawk football, what I see, 300 pictures put up of the last game, plus you do the JV game, the freshmen, and your own little kiddos games as well. So you do an outstanding job, and you want to say hi to somebody.
Oh, I want to say hi to my dad. He listens every Friday.
Awesome.
So, hi, Dad. Love you.
Awesome. So, well, let's talk about your position at Hudson. Now, number one, you came from Nickerson with Coach when he was named the head coach here, but you're the debate coach, but also you have an extremely important job of being basically football operations with Hutchinson.
Yeah, I really enjoy what I do with the football team. I have a lot of debate coaches that say, how'd they talk you into that?
Yeah,
and I
no
say,
kidding.
oh, man, there's no talking into it. I just genuinely enjoy it, and I love the players, and I love the coaches, and they're just such a group of great guys, so I really enjoy it.
When did you get involved with football, just the love of football? You gotta tell me about that, because you don't see so many. Well, yeah, I do, because I got one right over here that loves football, so to my left. But it's a fun game. How'd you get involved?
I just really love sports overall, and I grew up playing tennis and softball pretty competitively. My dad is very into that and trains my own children. And so I kind of got into that, and when Coach Vernon came to Nickerson, I told him I had a skill set. Maybe I could help him out in some areas where he wasn't the best at.
And one of them is social media.
That is one of those, yes. I don't really do Twitter, but I like the Facebook game.
Like the Facebook, and you
I
do some graphics?
I do. I do all the graphic design and the advertising for things. And we didn't really do a whole lot with sponsors this year, but just because of COVID. We weren't sure about the season and how that would go down. But, yeah, it's a great job. I love the photos and editing all of them.
You sent me a message just the other day regarding coming up now that we're going into the hybrid mode with the situation with COVID at Hutch High, or actually in Reno County.
Right.
And it moves us into an area where we're not going to be able to allow parents at different competitive athletics. And one of those is JV game coming up on Monday, as well as the freshman game. And you said, hey, anyway, you can stream it, and we're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I get the safety. I also get why the parents want to come and watch. And so I figure if there's a different avenue for people to watch that's safe, then let's provide that the best we can.
And we could check with my camera lady over here, and she says, yeah, I'm going to be able to do that, so we'll be able to do that. And we maybe even have an opportunity to give some kids an opportunity to get behind the mic and have some fun that way. So that's going to be a big plus. So that's happening on Monday. Now, this is a Reno County rule. This is the schools do look at the different color classifications, and we're going into orange. It's kind of out of everybody's hand with the Department of Education passing this down, but it is adapted in different ways, and one of them is just to try to keep people safe.
It is. And luckily, we have great live stream technology. And to be honest, it's kind of cool when y'all post the highlight videos, because I'm on the sidelines. I don't get to see those videos, but I rewatch your things all the time.
And it's unbelievable on the numbers that we're popping. Now, for example, Titan Home Services sponsors the play of the game. Kokar's eating it up. He might have another one right now with that 58-yard touchdown. But last week's, as of this morning, over 2,000 views of that highlight throw from 50 yards out that really made a difference in the ball game.
I know.
So that's so cool to see.
And I was so happy we got something at the end here. Before halftime, I was getting worried. Now, when they get the touchdown and they run on the side, everyone runs out, so I don't always get the best photos of the end zone, but I try real hard.
All right, you get all these pictures. Like I said, over 300 this last game that you posted this week, or even more than that, yes. I saw one with 297, but that was probably about the 18th album that you put up. So
probably true.
Do you go through every one of them? And I know you try to catch each of the kids even on the sidelines.
No, I do. And so I try to do sideline photos. And then I recently went and did like first grade through sixth grade games. And those are my favorite, absolutely, to watch the little kids. And so I do a couple hundred of each one of theirs games. I'm waiting to post theirs, though. I have to get through all of them. And it's hard with all the games. I had 8 games 2 weeks ago.
Parents that are out there or grandparents, where can they go and find those?
Just the Salthawk football page, and I believe it's called the official Salthawk football page. And you can clearly tell by our logo. We have a logo that kind of goes on everything.
Exactly.
So then they know it's our official page.
That's neat. We've got a couple grandparents down in Texas that start to post now. Grandma Hill, and also we got Mason Sykes' grandmother.
I noticed that.
Yeah, that also makes comments. And then somebody out in Southwest Kansas, there's another grandmother out there, and we love to hear those comments, because that's why we do this, is for those folks.
That's true. And when I'm posting the photos, I'm sure people think I post a lot of photos, but my thought process is, well, there's a mom or dad that wants that photo of their kid, and I want the photos of my kids, so I totally get it. So it's just a blessing and a joy and an honor to do the job, to be honest.
Let's talk debate. Let's talk debate. When does debate season start? How's it been going? What you been up to?
We have just started, and we are transitioning. We're all the way virtual this year. So we are on Zoom or on Google Meet, and we've got headsets and computers, and that's the way we do everything this year. All of our meets are that way. All of our practices are that way. So we're trying to be as safe as possible. We're not traveling anywhere.
That makes it interesting on how that you could do a Zoom debate. Maybe it's easier to some extent.
Well, it's nice because we're not traveling. A little bit of the nonverbal is lost, but the attempt is to keep the delivery up and make sure we're still doing all those things as well.
Awesome. Now, when does that season run? When's debate season happen?
Well, we started last weekend,
Okay.
and then we go all the way until the second week in January, and then forensics is the weekend after that, and that goes till May. So Thanksgiving and Christmas we get off, but otherwise we're always.
How hard is it to find judges for your debate meets?
It is.
And I'm assuming they're on the Zoom as well.
They are, and so we're a little bit different. Normally we recruit community judges, and this year schools are primarily having coaches and assistant coaches judging. So judging pool is a little bit different, but that's okay. We're just trying to still do what we do it and do it safe.
Kind of starts with Scholar Bowl down in the HMS 7 and 8, doesn't it? Kind of, to some extent?
You know, we don't have a whole lot to do with Scholars Bowl. They're
But that's where
competitive
it kind of starts.
academics.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So, and frankly, I really like, people don't really get the relationship between the two, but the best athletes make for the best debaters by far. So if I get an athlete on my team, I'm trying to keep them there.
I don't think I saw any athletes on Tuesday's presidential debate. I'm not sure. That was not true debate. That was more of a true argument.
I've got no comments on that.
I didn't think you would either, and neither do I as far as that's concerned. But that's an example of where it goes, and probably a pretty poor example, but I know you teach, and we've always had good debate students at Hutch High.
We've got a ton of seniors this year, and they're a really great group of debaters who are incredibly professional. So really enjoy them.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to let you get going. And also, you got a couple of young ones, don't you? Are they playing football?
I do. I have little ones. They don't play football yet, but
Okay.
they might eventually. We'll see.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we're going to let
Beautiful.
you go. We appreciate you stopping by and
Thank
talking
you
a little
for
bit about
having me.
debate. She's got to get back to work. We appreciate it. Again, Melissa left. We appreciate her stopping by. We are going to take a 1-minute timeout, Dan, and I'll get set for the second half of play. Don't go away. Hutch leads at 7-0 over Andover. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
The No Fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Welcome back. We're just about 1:50 away from the start of the second half of play. 11 seconds to go in that second quarter of play, and what a play we had from Thompson all the way to Kokar. For about the third straight week, actually, you can probably go back another one. Kokar has made huge plays. That one has given Hutchinson a much-deserved and really needed 7-0 lead down in Nacarado, as we need to get on the board.
And Kokar actually caught a pass earlier in the half for 20 yards, so he has 2 catches for 78 yards in that first half, but none more important than that 58-yard touchdown reception.
By the way, we appreciate Medicine Shop. In-game capsules brought to you by the Medicine Shop, and also we appreciate them being along for lots of other sports activities that we have in Hutchinson. CBD oil, you need it, over-the-counter products, your flu shots. Stop by and Also, we're really close. Just I think it's October 15th is when the Medicare Part D opens up again, and you can make your choice, and you can go in and talk to Rick about that. He's got a computer program. He'll plug your medications in and spin them out and say what's the best program in Kansas for you.
It seems like I have dozens of friends that have told me about that. I'm not quite to that age yet, but my gosh, it's on my list, so I hope Rick and the crew will be ready for me when it's time to decide what the right coverage is.
Second quarter score, Mays 42, Salina South 13, probably close to the end of that first quarter. Andale on top of Heston 32-7. That's a big score right there. And Dodge on top of Great Bend 21-7. Dodge City playing pretty good football. Houston with a slim lead at halftime over Minneapolis 7-6. Some other scores across the great state of Kansas. So right here it is 7-0. Hutchinson with the lead due to that long touchdown pass to Kokar. And we're about set to get underway. Hutchinson will receive the football to start the second half as they won the toss and deferred. And we'll check in with Joe Blake on the sideline. Getting any cooler down there, Joe?
Yeah, it has gotten a lot cooler, and Andover made the choice to kick into the wind, an interesting
Yeah, it really is. So they're going to kick in the wind. They hope to have the wind in the second half of fourth quarter of play. So we're about set to get underway with this fourth quarter. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, along with Sarah Peterson and Joe Blake on KWW, Hutchinson, Kansas. Spot on the dial for Salthawks football, as well as online with Alexa and all kinds of other products. We'll talk about those more. Ball's going to be picked up by the Salthawks as Peterson skips it off the ground at about the 20, trying to turn the corner. Flag on the play. It's probably a hold. Peterson gets back to about the 18. It could be a face mask, so let's check it.
Block in the back.
Block in the back.
Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, Salthawks did not even try to hide that block in the back there. That was pretty blatant.
Okay, so a block in the back against Hutch. That'll back it up from that spot.
It's probably going to go back to somewhere around the 10-yard line.
So as we have to the distance to the goal line, you're so correct. More than likely, see exactly where they're going to spot it. And it will be Hutchinson football as we're just underway in this, again, third quarter play. They'll mark it at the 9, and that's the first penalty we've had from Hutchinson that wasn't an encroachment penalty.
We got that going for us.
6 encroachment penalties in the first half of play. Here's Thompson, the quarterback, from the 9. Wants to give it to McEwen, and he bounces forward for a pickup of about 2 to 3 yards. Hard running for Alex McEwen, who has really been the mainstay offensively for Hudson all year long. Had a little bit of a down game against Garden City because of leg cramps, but he was picked up by Barlow along with Kokar in that game. Picked up about 4.
Last 2 games over 500 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. Back to pass, Thompson. Looks left, goes long, has a receiver, incomplete pass. In between Peterson and also out there was Blackwell in the route. Incomplete, brings up a 3rd down and 6 call.
Peterson, Blackwell, and Kokar all in the same area.
Within about 7-8 yards of each other.
That's unusual.
I've got a beam in the window in his press box right smack dab in front of me. So with the binoculars, it's kind of got like getting swapped in the face when I come by there. Brings up a 3rd down and 3 call. Let's check that. 3rd down and 6. Football at the 13. And whistle stoppage of play. Timeout's going to be taken. Coach Vernon didn't see something he saw something he didn't like. So a quick timeout taken by the Salthawks. 30-second break coming your way. We'll send it back to Stu. We'll be back with more right after this 30-second timeout. 7-0 Hutch.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Stuart Haddad, our chief engineer, back at the BW studio. Appreciate having him along tonight. He sent me a text a little while ago saying that you want a 1-minute break or 2-minute, and I just totally ignored it. I do that at home also, Stuart, and I get trouble for it. 3rd down and 6 now for Hutch. The pitch on the outside, trying to turn the corner, and they will. They have the 1st down and more all the way out to the 28-yard line. Noah Kokar with a positive run.
Remember, Salthawk fans, Noah Kokar, just a sophomore. The future is bright watching that young man.
Boy, it is. He's got some speed on the outside. He's going to be a highlight film of his own this year. By the way, Huddle was purchased by Blue Frame Technology, which is the same software that we use to stream the games. He gives straight away running this time, more room across up to the 40, and McEwen takes it all the way out to the 40. Positive yardage again, a 12-yard pickup, first down Hutchinson.
Little bit of football trivia for you, Glenn. Huddle was one of the 8 founders of Huddle is Kyle Murphy, Hutchinson Salthawk graduate class of 2004.
Outstanding. It's turned into really something. And like I said, it was taken over by Blue Frame Tech, and it'll even get better with that. So first and 10 for Hutchinson at the 41, Hutchinson's own 41. Peterson wide left. And Kokar in the slot on that right side this time. Barlow on the left slot. And McEwen at the fullback spot. Man in motion. Back to passes. And it tries to get it to Kokar as Thompson, an incomplete pass. Tried to set up the screen on that left side. Not really a bubble screen, more of a pure screen. It ends up being an incomplete pass.
It was the right play to run because Andover blitzed right up the middle. And usually when the linebacker comes straight up the middle coming after the quarterback, if you can complete that pass, that's one less tackler to contend with. Just couldn't get it done.
So this will bring up a second down and 10 for Hutchinson on their own 41. Again, straightaway running right across the 45-yard line, stacked up there. Pick up a 5. McEwen, yeoman's job at that fullback spot as he has each and every week. His goal is to average 200 yards a game. Going into tonight, he had 710 coming in.
Well, and he's one of those players that just seems to get stronger and stronger as the game progresses. He's usually stronger in the fourth quarter than he was in the first quarter.
And don't forget, Ragosa, Seitz, Doobie, Kepler, and Fan up front helping open up those lanes to get through. The Gibbon, McEwen just tripped. Fell down, no game on the play. Had his legs taken right out from underneath him.
Might have tripped over the foot of one of his own teammates.
Possibly did, because I did not see a dark blue jersey even close. Although close in there was A.J. Piper. 9:21 to go in this third period of play. It's a 4th down and 6 call, and Salthawks act like they might go for it. Or maybe try to draw Andover off and get a little closer to go for it. Man in motion, Kokar to pitch on the outside. The edge trying to get to it. There's a flag. He gets to the 50 and close to the 49. Would have enough for the first down. Let's see where the flag's going to do. Could come back.
Flag's right in the middle of the field at about the 41-yard line. That's probably an offensive hold or an illegal block. Chop block.
Chop block is what he's acting like he's going to call. Don't know if Joe had a closer view or not down on the sidelines.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I didn't see anything.
Okay.
I think that infraction was a blocker against big 79 Nick Parker at his defensive tackle position.
Hutch acts like it's against them, so they'll go back and get some. It's going to be a hold.
I think trying to set the edge. And I think Nick Parker was a handful defensively on that play, and the Salthawks had to hold him.
They'll mark it at the 30.5-yard line. Hutchinson will punt the football from there with 9:03 to go in the third quarter, leading 7-0. Andover's had the ball a lot tonight, but nothing on the scoreboard to show for it. Hutchinson has had a slew of penalties from defensive leave infraction all the way down to other penalties. Here's the snap. It's caught cleanly. The punt away and really close to being blocked. Way back deep. It's going to be taken at about the 12-yard line. Picked up there and trying to turn it up. Nothing there. Dropped at the 11-yard line. Is trying to get back was McCory. And he is leveled right there as he had to run back to get that football. He thought he might have been a little aggressively tackled around the neck area, but it'll be Andover football at 11.
We call those hidden yards because that was a 57-yard net punt.
Wow.
And when you can change the field position like that, those are hidden yards that end up winning games for you.
Yeah, got to get that ball up in the air on these punts, and the wind definitely helped that ball go over the returner's head, and he had to let it bounce.
Joe Blake Sideline Reports brought to you by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza. Tell them both you appreciate it.
Mace Kroll does a great job coaching the special teams.
The give this time, new man through, and is trying to turn up the middle is going to be Joshua Sparks. Senior 6'1", 200-pounder picks up hardly anything on the play. Maybe about a yard and a half. So we'll call it second down and a long 8.
When we had lunch with head coach Mike Vernon, we talked about special teams play, and I think I mentioned, those are great hidden yards in favor of the Salthawks. And Mike Vernon retorted, those are hidden wins.
Mm-hmm. Back to pass, left side. Double screen over there. It's going to be taken by Andover. Positive yardage all the way up to the 28. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Hutchinson coming up to make the stop over on the far side. Dakota Thompson. So they'll move the chains. 9-yard pickup. It'll go to the 28, 1st and 10 for Andover. So glad to have you along this evening, both on HutchPost.com as well as on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. Given the right side. Surge up to about the 30-yard line. That's Middleton again. He had a heck of a first half of play. Lots of carries and lots of yards.
71 yards on 19 carries in the first half. And that play that Andover just ran is their bread and butter offensive set.
Usually when you run the single wing, which Coach Vernon kind of says it's a single wing with a shotgun quarterback, normally it's all run. But that's not the case with Andover. They can throw out of it as well.
They do prefer to run the ball. It's a power offense, even though they're in shotgun.
Back to run. It's going to be Strauss. Has some room. Gets across the 35 up to about the 40-yard line. Picks up the first down. 1st and 10 is the sophomore Strauss on the run with some positive yardage on 1st 10. Andover's moved the football.
One of the Salthawks is down on the field.
Devin Hackney.
Yeah, it is Hackney. So Devin is down on the field. Let's see if he's going to be okay or not. They'll come out to attend to him as the training staff comes out quickly.
That quarterback keeper, that's the second time Andover has tried it. Both times Andover has picked up somewhere between 8 and 12 yards. Expect them to go back to that more often.
Clock showing 7:14 to go in the third period of play. Hutchinson up 7-0. Now Hackney is setting up. And now he'll get up on his own power and walk off the field under his own power. Might be a little gingerly walking, but he's going to be okay. And we're going to let Grandma Hill know that he's all right. As the camera is on him to the sidelines, he'll be okay.
We certainly hope he can return because I think he might be the best open field tackler for Hutchinson Salthawks defensive team.
He has really played well. So with the football now, 1st and 10 for the Trojans. 7:10 to go in the third period of play. Hutchinson's given up a lot of yardage. There's a counter back to the left side after going right to start the play. And it's going to be Middleton, but he picks up maybe 2. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. That was a play that started to its right and then went back against the grain, trying to play the over pursuit a little bit there, Dan.
Brings up 2nd down 7.
Next week we'll be at Salina South. They got their hands full with Mays tonight up at South Stadium. New and improved South Stadium. We've been up there 2 straight years. This will be our 3rd trip up there since they remodeled the press box and several other facilities up there. Bond issue really helps Central and South High. It's going to pass to Strauss. Has a receiver, caught it at the 40. He's off to the races to the 20. 10. We're tied. Well, actually, it's 7-6 right now as the pass was complete. For a 67-yard touchdown pass. McCory all the way down on the TD. Caught him in stride, Dan, and he's a dangerous receiver when you do that, and all of a sudden it is 7-6. The point after coming up. So Andover putting some points on the board.
Trying for the extra point, number 42, Carter Champlin.
57-yard touchdown strike.
Champlin, the hole. Here's the kick. It's up and on its way, and it is good. And your score was 6:17 to go in the third period of play. The Salthawks 7 and Andover 7. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout for the Andover kickoff right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Well, just like that, 67 yards and a touchdown by Andover. And Hackney, that was where his position was, but he was on the sidelines because he'd gotten shaken up. So smart play by Andover to go right at his defensive substitute, and it ends up being 6 + 7 on the board with the point after.
All the points so far in this game with 6:17 to play in the third quarter. 58-yard touchdown pass from Miles Thompson to Noah Kokar for Hutchinson. And now I've got it at 57 yards from Strauss.
Okay. The PA might have been wrong. I heard him say 67, so we'll double-check that. So this one happened at the 6:17 mark. Hutchinson touchdown came at the 11-second mark of the second quarter. And this one, the throw all the way down to Maya Corey. And here comes the kickoff by Andover after their touchdown. Sails all the way down. Hutchinson slips, trying to get to it. Kokar is going to try to pick it up. He'll be hit quickly. They fumble it, and quickly Peterson picks it up. It's back inside the 10. Let's see where they mark it at the 8-yard line. Not a good situation for Hutchinson, as it was kind of a hot potato down there. Kokar trying to get to it, and finally getting on it was Kokar. So with 6:16 to go, Hutch will have the ball 1st and 10.
Was that touchdown 57 or 67?
6:16 to go in this third period of play. Deep in their own territory, Hutchinson 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line. Gibbs straightaway running up to about the 10-yard line. Hutchinson trying to get McEwen straight up the middle to get a little bit of yardage so they're not in the shadows of their own end zone. Salthawks look to the sidelines. 5:54 remaining to go in this third period of play. Hutchinson in a dogfight. We're tied at 7 apiece. Hutchinson give away straight away up the middle. And McEwen picks up another couple of yards. It's going to bring up a third down and about 6 for Hutch with 5:33 to go in the third period. Nose in there going both ways. You might have heard him talk about just made the tackle.
3 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd down 5.
All right, 5:15 remaining to go in this third period. Hutch trying to get it to the outside as Kokar trying to make something out of nothing. He's up to about the 14, and will be stalled out there. Only a pickup about a yard on the play.
Avoided a very dangerous potential situation because the pitch was a little bit behind Kokar. He had to reach back with one hand to corral it.
Hutch defense going to have to play pretty good here because wherever this ball ends, it's going to be pretty good field position for Andover. They'll send one man back, as Hutchinson's going to punt the football away. Let's see if they rush and try to make something happen.
Yeah, Andover almost got in on the last one. So
yeah, McCory will be back. He'll set up at his own 38-yard line. We'll get set. Yeah, it was very close to being blocked on the last attempt. Nice snap. Here comes the kick. Got it away. It's going to hit at about the 45, taken by McCory. He'll go to his left side, trying to turn the corner. There's some blocking over there. Finally going to be wrapped up, but inside the Salthawk territory at about the 47-yard line. So Andover will take over First and 10 from the Salthawk 47. 4:07 to go in quarter number 3. Moon starting to rise to the east. Beautiful full moon that we've had over the last few nights. Partly cloudy skies here this evening over in Andover. Talked about the construction going on over at Andover High. Looks pretty significant with the big cranes and lots of the high school being tore up. First and 10 now for Andover. On the Hutch, 46. Gibbs straight away running. That's Middleton. He had a good first half of play. Works his way forward to about the 43-yard line. Second down and 7.
Andover High School opened in 1982, and if I remember right, Andover Central opened in about 2003, somewhere in that
Very
neighborhood.
similar design schools. Matter of fact, the gymnasiums are identically designed.
Twins.
Uh-huh. I've always said whoever that architect was, he did a good job around the Wichita area. Here's a slow developing play, and it goes nowhere for Andover. Actually lost about 4 on the play, nose thrown backwards for negative yardage. Good defensive effort by Hutchinson. They'll give his forward progress just short of the 45-yard line, so third down, we'll call it 9.
Hunter Stanford came in quickly from his defensive tackle position, and just had absolutely no room to run.
Ando all over Heston tonight, 38-7, the halftime score. Mays on top of Salina South, 52-13. Here it's 7-7 tie. The pitch on the outside, trying to turn it up the field, and nothing was there for Middleton on that possession right there. Matter of fact, he lost yards back to about a 4-yard loss, so brings up a long situation, a 4th down and 14 for Andover.
Dakota Thompson led the charge, and he had help from about 2 or 3 other Salthawks.
So the Salthawks will get set offensively. Back to receive will be Peterson. He's standing on his own 16. 2:18 to go in the third quarter of play. We're tied at 7 apiece. Here comes the punt. And they'll let it bounce out of bounds. Shanked it kind of to the right side. It'll go out of bounds at the 25. So Hutchinson will have pretty good field position at their own 25 with 2:02 to go in the first half of play. Dan, what does Hutchinson need to do to get going?
Well, they're still probing different openings, trying to find whatever that Andover Trojan defense will allow. And quite frankly, that defense has been pretty stout. The only thing Hutchinson has to show on the scoreboard is that 158-yard long touchdown pass. I think Hutchinson's going to have to see if they can get something up the middle.
And both have had the long ball tonight. Hutchinson as well as Andover. Around the right side, Kokar gets the edge, but not much of it. Out of bounds he goes at about the 28, picks up about 3. Long ways to run for 3 yards over there with 1:55 to go. They've got that scouted out pretty well.
Andover's defense strikes me as speedy enough that it's very difficult to gain yards on the rocket toss around the end.
Gave him 4 on the play. Second down and 6 now for Hutch. Salthawks have been so successful just pounding the ball. You don't even need, isn't it like Gail Sayers said, the late Gail Sayers, like give me 18 inches in about 3 seconds, isn't that what he indicated? Back to pass is Thompson. Goes long. As a receiver out there again, catch can't be made. It's just out of the reach of Peterson. Peterson was open at about the 35-yard line, could not stretch out and get to it with 1:49 to go. That would have been huge yardage, maybe would have taken it to the house. Incomplete pass, third down and 6.
Just off Peterson's fingertips. But actually the play I like right now, Glenn, is fake the handoff to the fullback and Miles Thompson keep it.
Wouldn't be a bad one on 3rd and 6. Thompson had a 10-yard pickup back in the first half of play, much like this situation. Miles a senior, Barlow a senior, McCune a senior. He wants to keep it around the right side, trying to turn the corner, has some positive yardage, but it's going to be short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 3.
Well, with the speed option that time, and Miles Thompson did keep it, I just like to fake the ball to the fullback because Andover's defense is keen on the fullback.
4th down and 2 with 1:27 to go in the third period of play. Ball's on the 33. He's got to get to the 35 for the first down. They're going to go for it. See if Thompson. And we have movement. There's movement on the defensive line. And Miles immediately pointed to the guilty party. And it will be encroachment and automatic first down.
Isn't it amazing how often that works when it's tried time and time again? And you get those defensive players a little bit too aggressive, and they listen to the cadence instead of watching their opponent or watching the football.
May South leading Newton in the third quarter, 21-10 tonight in football action. Also Mill Valley 35, Free State 0. Give up the middle, some room to run, and off to the races all the way down to about the 40-yard line is McEwen. So McEwen with the quick opener and busted down for about a 20-yard pickup to the 40.
He ran right behind right tackle Jonathan Fan, who cleared the way for him.
Johnson's Fan, you can always, as a matter of fact, I look across and I see that Salthawk flag waving on the top of the bleachers over there. That's Dr. Fan, and he's always giving a big wave when Hutchinson picks up a first down and does something special.
When McEwen gets a little bit of room to run, he can go for a long way.
Yes, he can. Back to pass. Thompson slant pattern. Peterson has it. He's caught it across the 35 to about the 33, pickup of 7.
Courageous catch by Trey Peterson. Took a pretty good hit from Brett Albright, who made the stop. When you run that slant, a lot of times you know there might be some contact right after you catch the ball.
Well, he felt that coming, and matter of fact, I thought maybe he was going to feel some footsteps, but he was able to gather it in. Turn to McEwen up to the 30, very close to the first down. Depends on the mark. It looks to be short by about a half a yard. Third down is short. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. That could be the last play of the third quarter, and it's going to be. Hutchinson and Andover locked up in a good one. 7 tie as we head to the fourth quarter play. We'll take a break, a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with more right here on KWBW and Salthawk football after this 1-minute timeout.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
We go to the fourth quarter of play. Hutchinson in 7 and Andover 7. All tied up as we start this fourth quarter of play. And Hutchinson will get set offensively now with the ball up to 31 of Andover. Deep penetration inside the Andover territory to give to Coker on the edge. He has a turn all the way down to about the 22-yard line. He dipped a little bit, and you talked about that, Dan, during the Garden City game. Right around the 28, he dipped inside and popped outside.
Yep, we call that dip and slip. It's a good technique for a running back when he's trying to turn the corner. He dips as if he's going to turn it up inside, and then he slips back out to the outside.
That's what I do when I'm getting up to go to the restroom in the middle of the night. I dip and slip a little bit. The floor's slick. Anyway, I guess that's not what we're talking about, is it? First and 10 Hutch from the 21 of Andover. The give again to McEwen. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. Ball helmet pops off, but he picks up about a positive yard up to about the 18. His helmet popped off. Now, is he going to have to come out?
I think that was Seitz whose helmet came off, yeah.
You're right. Seitz will come out of the contest as his helmet popped off. And a pickup of, we'll give him 3. Second down and 7 now. Nose of the football on the 18. Minute and 20, check that, 11:27, to go in this Fourth quarter of play, just underway in the fourth quarter.
Tajon James will come in for...
You got Blackwell on that right edge. He gives off to McEwen, straight ahead running up to about the 15. And that play has worked all year long for Hutchinson. Over on that right side, going off of Kepler and Sands block over there. Just under 11 remaining to go in this fourth quarter play. Scarborough with a nice stop for Andover. But 3rd and 5 to call here for Hutchinson. The ball is on right in the center of the field, not on either hash mark. Sometimes you always know you're getting a rocket toss if it's on one of the hash marks, so you can spread it out a little bit. Thompson, the quarterback, wants to throw. Quick opener. Peterson has it. He has the first down. He has more. He's all the way down to the 1-yard line.
Wow, he nearly broke that for a touchdown after he evaded that first tackler.
They'll mark it officially at the 2, I believe, but it'll move the chains. It'll be 1st and goal, actually at the 3. 1st and 10 from the 3-yard line.
Through 3 quarters, Andover controlled the ball 17 minutes, 22 seconds compared to 6 minutes, 27 seconds by Hutchinson. But the score is tied, and Hutchinson is knocking on the door.
Peterson with a quick catch, and then he had room to break it. Trying to make something happen. Man in motion. Here's the pitch to Kokar on the outside. At the 10, stutter steps, goes to the outside. He's going to be stopped there after a pickup of about a yard on the play.
And we're going to get a block in the back penalty out here.
Block in the back is going to be the call. Joe Blake down on the sidelines, courtesy of Jackson Meat, as well as, again, also Papa John's Pizza. And let's see what he saw, if he's accurate with it. You stop and hitch over there, and lots of things can happen. That's the illegal block in the back by Peterson is what they call.
Really impressed with this Ken Dusenberry-led defense. Coach Dusenberry, he's a Bethel College grad. He came back to Andover High School after being the head coach at Garden Plain for 5 years, where he went 42-11. He has this Andover defense rallying to the football. That's why it's so tough to run around the end against this defense. They all run to the ball so well.
9:54 to go in this fourth quarter play. Hutchinson was inside, the deep inside of Andover territory, and then the penalty. Oh, now loose ball. Kokar jumps on it at the 24, and we're going the other direction. 9:40 to go. Ball back to about the 24. It's going to bring up a key down for Hutchinson. 3rd down and a long way to go for a first down. So an errant pitch to Kokar.
And a penalty the play before that has the Salthawk offense going the wrong direction.
Ball's going to be on the 24.
It's a passing formation.
2nd down and 24 for Hutch. Back to pass. Thompson gets it out to Kokar. He makes the catch. He's at the 12-yard line, knocked out of bounds. Got a big hunk of it back right there, about half of it to be exact, Van. So it'll bring up a 3rd down situation, 3rd and 11.
Ashton No just does everything for Andover. That was a bone-rattling tackle. Ashton No starts at running back on offense. He's a linebacker on defense. He's also the long snapper for Andover.
Hutch splits a wide out on the right side and the left. Peterson on the top of your screen if you're watching. Back to passes. Peterson trying to make the catch. There's Thompson in an incomplete pass. Just about a pick. But thrown behind Peterson just a little. With 8:58 to go, it'll be 4th down and 11.
Tayton Klein broke up the pass. The 5'11" junior defensive back made sure that pass could not be completed.
We're going to try the field goal here. Joe?
Yeah, Carter Booth's first career field goal is going to come against the wind.
All right.
He's a left-footed kicker, and he's attempting this one from the right hash mark.
28?
It'd be a 28 if it goes.
All right. Newquist looks at Boo. Here's the snap. It's a good hold. As the kick is up and on its way. It's long enough, and it is no good. Wide to the left. So the score remains a 7-7 tie with 8:55 to go in this fourth period of play. Andover will take over on downs as that 28-yard field goal had the length, Dan, but did not have the accuracy. So Andover will have the football, 1st and 10, and they're going to mark it right at the 20-yard line.
Comes back to the 20 in high school football.
So Andover will break huddle. 8:55 to go here in the fourth period of play. Andover's had success moving the football, and it belted up front and picks up about 5 yards on the carry. I think it's Middleton again. Middleton, again, very successful in the first half and having a good second half as well. So second down, we'll say 4. They'll mark it up to 26. Split wideouts. Left, tight end in tight on the right side. Single wing offense to give, straight ahead running again. Plowing forward, has the first down as it's across the 30-yard line up to about the 32. And carrying it up the middle was Sparks. So Andover with the first down. Clock moving with 8:04 to go in the contest. We're tied at 7 apiece. Andover with the football. Hutchinson's 28-yard field goal attempt was wide right. The low snap, picking it up and losing yardage. I might have got positive yardage off the lean. Was the quarterback keeper up the middle.
Didn't have much choice of what to do with the football because he had to make sure that he picked up the low snap first, and by that time the timing of the play was all out of whack.
Strauss, a sophomore quarterback, which I'm very impressed with. We've seen a couple good sophomores. Weeby out in Garden City was a good sophomore quarterback that came in relief. Strauss done a good job. Back to pass. Right side. Catch is made. And Newquist comes up to make the stop. The catch was made by number 8 out there, Quentin Bourne.
Andover had a very especially good quarterback who was a junior last year, but for one reason or another, he did not play this year, and that forced the sophomore Strauss into action.
36. Ball's at the 36. 6:47 to go in this fourth period of play. The fake of the pass to give up the middle. Lots of room to run all the way down to the 40 inside of the Salthawk territory to the 38-yard line.
He hit Quentin Bourne right in stride on the
sure
slant.
Did. 25-yard pickup, so deep inside of Salthawk territory to the 39, just across the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Good chunk of that with the run after catch.
All right, Andover trying to plow it down and take the lead in this game. 1st and 10 for them. Keeper by Strauss around the left side. He pulled it out of the belly of Middleton. There's a block on the sideline. I saw a flag fly.
Yeah, it was a blindside block. That's illegal in high school football, so that one's coming back.
Andover sideline is not happy about it.
They're not happy at all about it, but I saw it happen right in front of, from up here, right in front of you, Joe.
And right in front of the official, too. If this isn't called, if this is overturned with the huddle they're having right now, I will be astonished.
It was not a block in the back, but it was one of those defenseless player blocks.
And it's
He's still got Kinzer in the back a little bit, so this would be unbelievable if it's overturned.
I think 10 years ago, that probably would have been a perfectly legal play, but not in today's football game.
See what they're going to say. Whoa! They pulled the flag back and said no foul, but boy, sure did look at from this angle.
He was definitely defenseless when he was blocked. He did not see, the Hutchinson Salthawk defender did not see Tatum Klein.
Well, the right cap is really upset with somebody on the Andover sidelines, which is kind of surprising because that went Andover's way. 6:10 to go, and a 1st and 10 for Andover. Strauss gives it off again, plowed forward, and with the football is going to be Sparks. And they're just pounding it up the middle now.
This is getting dangerous for Salthawk fans, and Andover Trojan fans are pretty excited about the possibilities with 5 minutes, 45 seconds to play in the game. And the Andover is driving.
2nd down and 4.
This drive started on Andover's own 20-yard line with 8:55 to play.
Give to Middleton, right side, has some room across the 20-yard line, down inside the 19, and that's where they're going to mark it. Not a first down, but close. No, it is a first down. They'll move the chains, so right on the line. 1st and 10 Andover with 5:26 to go.
Shaylee Lenning listening at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can let out a cry of joy because your nephew just picked up a first down. Got to see your sister Andrea in the stands at halftime.
So 1st and 10 for the Salthawks at the 18-yard line. Or it's 1st 10 for Andover at the 18-yard line of the Salthawks. Middleton back at that fullback spot. The keeper, Strauss, keeps it himself across the 15 down to about the 14-yard line.
Hackney is back in the game.
Yep, he's back in there. Good to see.
He made the tackle. Devon Hackney had to leave the game a little bit earlier, but he's back out there in action again.
Another defensive personnel change. Dakota Thompson replaced Mason Weathers, who doesn't have a helmet on the sidelines, probably meaning a concussion.
Yeah, that means you have to come out for one play at least.
Got to have a helmet to play.
Well, the trainer stuck his helmet, is what it appears to look like to me because of a concussion.
Second down, concussion protocol. 2nd down and 6. Gives straight away and rolls forward. That's going to be again Sparks.
Sparks right up the middle. Pretty good surge by the Andover offensive line, led by the center.
They'll mark it down to about the 3rd and 1.
A.J. Piper, 6 feet, 280 pounds. One of those two-way starters for Andover. And he got some movement.
Nose of the football inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 7. 3rd down is short. Keep around that right side into the end zone. Middleton scores it. Middleton with the touchdown to give Andover the lead with 3:59 to go in the 4th period of play. There is a flag on the play, but we'll see. I think that touchdown is going to stand unless an infraction that I didn't see. It was 3rd down and 1. Let's see what the call is going to be.
3rd down and 1 from the 8-yard line. Let's see if the touchdown stands.
Middleton's coming off now, acting like it was good for the touchdown. Referee coming over to explain to the head coach. And it is 13-7. Is it a point after?
I think they're discussing whether or not they want it on the point after or the kickoff.
All right, so the penalty against Hutchinson then. All right, thank you, Joe. So a foul against Hutchinson after the play was completed. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. So Andover with the point after, with just under 4 minutes remaining to go in the contest, leading it right now 13-7. Because the kick, it's up and on its way, and it is good. Your score with 3:59 to go in the ball game: Andover 14, Hutchinson 7. Andover kickoff coming your way in 30 seconds.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Well, now Andover will have a short field to kick to because the penalty against Hutchinson. Hutchinson with some work to be done, but time to do it in with 4 minutes to go, Dan. Got to bring it down and try to top the score.
Well, there's still time to get it done. It's still anybody's football game. But the way this game has gone, low-scoring defensive struggle, you'd definitely like to be ahead by 7 with 3 minutes 59 to play rather than behind.
So, Andover will kick it off from right at the Hutchinson 45. And you can play with this a little bit. Long kick out of the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. So let's see what Hutchinson draws up with 3:58 to go in the contest. So Hutchinson sends out the offense. It's doable, Dan, especially with quick openers like they get from McEwen, and also don't forget you got some blazing speed at a couple of those other backs like Kokar and Barlow.
Plenty of time, almost 4 minutes to play in the game. Hutchinson still has 2 timeouts, so there's plenty of time, but you pretty much have to get it done on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 20 for Hutchinson, their own 20. They give straight away running. McEwen trying to get up to about the 25. He'll be right up to it, so pick up 5 on the carry. 2nd down and 5.
Can't take too much time between plays.
Barlow checks out. Blackwell checks in for the Salthawks. Now they'll split it out. They go with a twin set on the near side to us. Peterson split wide right. Give to McEwen again. Off tackle on the left side. Again up to about the 34. Moves the change, and stops the clock with 2:25 remaining to go. 3:25, So 1st and 10 from the 35 for Hutchinson. Thompson looks over the defense. Clock moving now at 3:12. Back to pass, Barlow. Check that Thompson. Goes right side. Barlow tries to make a tremendous catch, but incomplete pass. Kokar over on the far side. And he would have had short of the 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Kokar had to pretty much become the defensive player to make sure that pass did not get intercepted. He didn't think he could quite get to it to catch it, so he batted it down.
Exactly. Good call, Dan. So 2nd down and 10 now. Thompson under Doobie to center. To give this time to McEwen. Trying to get close to the 1st down. He's extremely close, and I think he has it. Up across the 45. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10. Hutchinson stops the clock with just under 3 to go now. 2:58. They'll wind the clock as soon as they get the chains set. Hutchinson should be set to go again. Blackwell will check out. McEwen at that fullback spot. Capable of breaking the long one. Thompson, the quarterback. 2:45 to go in the contest. Back to pass is Thompson. Throws to the right side. Incomplete. Intercepted pass. And Andover comes up with it at their own 40.
Isaiah Mycori came up with probably what will have to be the biggest interception of the year for the Andover Trojans.
Yeah, sure will be. With 2:37 to go, Joe.
And I don't even think he was looking for the ball. It just happened to get sandwiched right in between Kokar and him and ended up in his hands. I mean, unfortunate play for the Salthawks.
Yeah, Joe Blake's sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza. With 2:37 to go, Hutch needs to make something happen here. Trojans have all their timeouts remaining. Hutchinson has 2 of theirs.
Hutchinson will have to get a stop and use their timeouts on defense.
Give straightaway running. They're going to be careful with the football. A couple yards picked up to about the 42. And I think Hutch called a quick timeout. So with 2:30 to go in the contest. No was the ball carrier. And Hutch will take a timeout. We'll take a break. 2:30 to go. Hutchinson down by 7, 14-7. Andover football at their own 42-yard line, facing a 2nd down and 8. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
This is Salthawk football on KWW. Hutchinson, Kansas. So glad to have you along. Don't forget, an hour from now, Nick Gosnell with the BW Scoreboard Show at 10 o'clock, 10 to 10:30. Recaps from all across the state of Kansas, including here from Andover. So tune in to Nick at 10 o'clock on BW for catch up with scores. There's a handoff in the backfield. No gain on the play. Middleton dropped at the 40. See if there's another Salthawk timeout or not. So far, not. Nope, it will be. There's Hutchinson third and final timeout, so we're going to keep it here. Dan, we got to regroup and go to South next week. And Hutchinson still, even with if that ends up being this score, it's a 4-1 record. You go and take on a division league rival in Salina South. And
very winnable game.
Very winnable game, you bet.
But while this game is certainly big-time advantage Andover at this stage, I wouldn't count Hutchinson completely out just yet.
You never know.
If they can...
this third down and 10 call here.
If Hutchinson can come up with a stop here, the clock does stop each time Hutchinson makes a first down, but Hutchinson does not have any more timeouts. So Hutchinson will have to have a big play in this last couple of minutes to come back and tie it up.
I want to remind everybody, coming up on Monday afternoon, freshman football, JV football from Gowan Stadium will be streamed on HutchPost.com. It will be, right now, video only. We might have somebody to do play-by-play with it, so we'll let you know. But that's coming up on Monday for those parents that were worried about not being able to see the ball. Quick opener up the middle, big yardage all the way up for number 35, and that's Joshua Sparks, and he carries it up, and that should probably do it with the 1st and 10 right there with 2:23 to go. Hutch can't stop the clock.
Only hope Hutchinson has now is for Andover to make a huge mistake and turn the ball over, and that is not likely.
Ball's at the 48. Hutchinson was supposed to play Derby tonight. Andover was supposed to play Campus. Both of those schools came down with COVID-19, and we lined up this one, and Andover's had Hutchinson number tonight. Andover took the first lead Hutch took the first lead at 7-0. Andover came back and tied it up at 7 apiece. And now, right now, Andover leading 14-7 in the backfield. Loss on the play, back of about 2 yards, back to right at the 50. Clock moving with 1:44 to go.
Ben Patterson is a competitor through and through. This game is likely pretty much over at this point, but he is still competing as hard as anyone could ever ask a player to compete. Made the tackle for loss.
We will chat with Coach Vernon after he makes his way up here. Tough loss tonight. Is right now with 1:21 to go and just letting that clock bury down, and more than likely, good chance of taking a knee right here. They're going to be very careful. Strauss, the sophomore quarterback, did a good job tonight. It's not a huge score by way of being blown out, but it's a 7-point win for Andover.
We expected a defensive contest tonight that would be a stark contrast to the game we had last week with Hutchinson hosting Newton, and we got a defensive struggle tonight. Final score is going to be 14-7 in favor of the Andover Trojans.
I'd be amiss if I didn't thank Joe Blake for his sideline work tonight, as he'll go back to college tomorrow. So, Joe, appreciate it very much of you taking time out of your busy day to help us out. Here comes a knee again, more than likely.
When did we mention that it's unlikely that we'll have fans in the stands?
Exactly. Next week as well?
Well, we might have them at Salina South, but unlikely there will be at the home game.
It's going to wrap things up with a score, your final from Trojan Stadium. The Trojans, again, 14, Hutchinson 7. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, add things up. We'll be back right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Andover Stadium. 14-7, your final. Andover, a winner over Hutchinson. Hutchinson loses their first game of the year to go to 4-1. Andover goes to 3-2 on the year. Big win for the Trojans over a Hutchinson team that had a lot of success this year, but weren't able to get it done tonight. Just wasn't their time tonight. This is the Medicine Shop post-game wrap, brought to you by the Medicine Shop at 14th and Main. I talked about flu shots. Rick let me know this week that they do have the flu shots in the vaccine, but they do not have the heavy-duty dose for you 65 and older populations, so they hope to have that in next week. You will let us know, and hopefully we'll talk about that next week as to see if they has those in or not. Don't forget the CBD oil that they have is outstanding. It comes out of Rice County. And for all your aches and pains and maybe restless leg syndrome, as well as also if you're not able to go to sleep easy, they've got the melatonin with the CBD tablets, easy to take, or also those knees and joints for arthritis. Just stop in and talk to one of the pharmacists about it. They'll tell you all about it. Don't forget that local Hutchinson wall they have on the east side with really interesting products from all around the Reno County area. That's the 14th and Main Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. And right now in Hutch, we had quickly a lot of action in the first half of play with that touchdown with just 11 seconds remaining, the big 51-yarder by Hutchinson to put things up on the long pass, Dan, and that was about all the excitement that we had from Hutchinson. That was a Kokar catch from 58 yards to score, and that would have to be our Titan play of the game again. Again, it's going to be Kokar, but that was the big play of the game that gave Hutch the lead at that time, 7-0.
Kokar is an electric player, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that he is racking up these Titan player of the game plays along with Miles Thompson. You know, the difference in this game tonight really came down to Hutchinson turned the ball over 3 times and turned it over twice. And that ended up probably being the most significant difference in this football game. Each team collected an interception. Andover picked up 2 fumbles from Hutchinson, and Hutchinson just got 1 fumble from Andover. When you look at total yards, Andover ran 67 plays compared to 44 for Hutchinson and gained 364 total yards. Hutchinson, 297 total yards. So Andover controlled the time of possession throughout this game. They had the ball many more minutes than Hutchinson, and ran 23 more offensive plays than Hutchinson. They controlled the football. They collected 1 more turnover than Hutchinson. Max Middleton ended the game with 97 yards on 29 carries and a touchdown. Alec McEwen, a good, solid performance again, 117 yards on 21 carries. Brady Strauss completed 10 passes tonight for 175 yards. Miles Thompson completed 5 for 111 yards. How about Kinzer Newquist? 11 tackles tonight from his free safety position. Kinzer Newquist. Jack Hoffer, 10 tackles from his Eagle linebacker position. It's one of those games that could have gone either way, and you just have to tip your cap to Andover for doing what it took to come out of just one touchdown ahead.
It was a strange game the way it started with all the penalties that Hutchinson had, but it didn't hurt the Salthawks. Yeah, it was 5 encroachment penalties, but it really didn't hurt the Salthawks at that time, and 6 total for the game, but we had 5 in a row on their drive by Andover to get down there, but they didn't give up any points. But maybe it set the tone for the game. What do you think?
Well, it certainly gave Andover a lot longer time of possession, and sometimes time of possession means nothing in a football game, but tonight I think it did make a difference.
We're waiting on Coach Vernon to make his way up here, but Coach got to understand that he needs some time to chat with his people, and now he is just up here. So we're going to close out the regular portion of the broadcast. We'll get ready to talk with Coach Mike Vernon right after this timeout. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Hutchinson Salthawks Sports on VW Radio. Our broadcast was brought to you in part by Ashcraft Pharmacy, the Insurance Group, Pools Plus, and the Hutch CC Business Office. Salthawks Sports is also brought to you by the Salthawk Boosters, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Apple Lane Animal Hospital, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, William Thacker, and the Hutchinson Clinic. Stay tuned. Our Coaches Show is next on VW Radio. Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com. It's time for the Coaches Show on VW Radio. A look back at tonight's game and a peek into the next action. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Our chat with head coach is next after this timeout on KWBW.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Joining me now, Mike Vernon, the head coach of Hutchinson. And Mike, we kind of hit a buzzsaw right there, gave him some opportunities, lose it 14-7. Andover came out and kind of smacked us in the mouth.
Yep. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we had some penalties and some turnovers there. You know, we would drive the ball and then we'd make a mistake, and you know, that's something that we've preached this whole time, and you can't do that. And, you know, that's definitely something that we're going to have to clean up if we're going to want to win some more ball games.
Got the big play again from Kokar, and he continues to shine out there. Thompson right on the button. We kind of thought, okay, now we're going to get going. Kind of got the anticipation of the game out of our way right now, but take nothing away from Andover. They were a good opponent tonight.
Yeah, they played hard. They did a lot of good things, and you know, they definitely matched our physicality, and you know, it was a nice, hard-fought game.
Late in the ball game, we're driving. We have it deep inside their territory. All of a sudden, we have the penalty go against us, and then we have the fumble right after that, and it just went the wrong way.
Right, and you make mistakes, and we made 2 costly mistakes right there, and can't win football games like that.
Got to take care of the football, and also can't have the penalties to go against you as well. Other than that, the offensive line seemed to move the ball. McEwen again with another positive night.
Yeah, you know, we move the ball. The problem is we make mistakes. When we make mistakes, it hurts us, and you know, we got to make sure that, you know, we cut out those costly mistakes. For 4 weeks, we cut out costly mistakes, and tonight we didn't. And you know, the result was we got beat.
Yeah, and they were able to come away with a 14-7 victory. We'll take a timeout and come back and talk about Salina South, our opponent on the road next week again at Salina Stadium. We'll be back right after this.
The medicine shop, when you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
We travel to Salina South next week as Mays was all over Salina South at Salina South, 58-13 tonight. But time to regroup a little bit and kind of 4-1 is still an outstanding record and get set to go for the Salina and kind of straighten things out.
Yeah, anytime that we get to compete, just like what we always say. So we need to make sure that we get back to work on Sunday and we get everything in and refocus and get back out there.
What does Salina South look like? They're kind of having a down year this year, but that they see this score and they're going to say, hey, Hutch can be beat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and the same thing, and I'd be preaching, if they make mistakes and if they turn the ball over, it's anybody's game, and that's what's going to happen.
And we'll see what's going to take place. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you on Wednesday, okay?
Yes, sir.
Again, Mike Vernon, the fine head coach for Hutchinson. We're going to take another timeout, Dan and I, with some final thoughts right after this.
You've been listening to The Coaches Show on BW Radio. The Coaches Show has been brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main. Thanks for listening to Salt Talk Sports on KWBW Radio, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Andover Stadium. But Dan, we come in here and just Andover Trojans were better than their 2-2 record showed. We kind of knew that by looking at their scores and how close they played Eisenhower, which was a loss, and also how close they played Mays, which was a loss. We knew it was going to be a game like this. I didn't think we'd have the turnovers that we had because we've been really pretty good in that department, but taking nothing away from Andover as they forced those, and just it's time to regroup a little bit and get going.
Well, all is not lost. The season continues, and you get to play hopefully more games if COVID-19 cooperates and allows us to continue to compete. And we always enjoy watching Salthawk football. Tonight was just one of those cases where turned it over a few times, missed a field goal, missed a fourth down conversion attempt that Hutchinson has been making all year long. And you hit it right on the head, Glenn. Everybody associated with Salthawk football respected this Andover Trojans football program. You could tell watching on film, they're a team that's got strength, speed, desire, and discipline. And you face a team like that, it's hard to beat them.
We punched it in. We have like a second down and goal situation, and all of a sudden we had the penalty go against us and then the big fumble go against us, pushed it back, and then tried to make something happen. It looked pretty positive at that time, but then it kind of broke our spirit a little bit, and Andover came on top 14-7. At that time, they led 14-7.
Hey, it's a game that could have gone either way, and we've been very happy in the previous 4 weeks to be in very close games that went Hutchinson's way.
No doubt.
Tonight it went Andover's way.
Thanks to Joe Blake making the way all the way up here from Mark City to help us on the sideline. Sarah Peterson, as usual, on the sideline. And to you, our listeners out there, doing a great job of paying attention and supporting us throughout. Don't forget, coming up on Monday, no parents or spectators admission into the freshman and JV games at Gowan Stadium, but we will be streaming. Go to HutchPost.com. It won't be broadcast over the radio, but it'll be streamed from HutchPost.com, and that'll take you to the YouTube channel where it will be for those two games of freshman and also JV games that will be taking place. And that will be, I believe it is going to be Andover coming over to Gowan Stadium, the JV and freshman teams from Andover.
That's right. Freshman kickoff at 4 o'clock. JV, it only says 6 o'clock, but it's about 25 minutes after the end of the freshman
We'll
game.
be there to bring all the action to you if you wish to, and then we'll see. We need a nice crowd to go up to Salina Stadium. They have a lot of room up there, so Dark Valley rules should be, unless they're in the orange up there and not allow. We'll find out about that this week. And not being allowed parents or not. So
pretty much have to take everything one day at a time.
Take one day at a time. We appreciate you joining in. We appreciate those grandmothers down in Texas and those ones out in Southwest Kansas as well. As we love to have our folks from comment on Facebook where you're listening from, and we appreciate it very much. There's no doubt about that. So so glad to have you along, and just want to remind everybody to tune in to Nick's scoreboard show coming up your way. And at 10 o'clock, again, Nick Gosnell with the scoreboard show coming your way in just a little bit. Your final score from Andover Stadium, it's Andover 14, the Salthawks 7. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening.